Such an
Oh
underrated
boy, here
fact.
we go. Thank you all again
Oh.
for coming to Spelljammer 998. Uh-oh, did we get that?
We're good. I'm sorry.
Take
Go
two.
ahead. No, we're good.
Thank you all for coming. Today is the 11th of Larvon. I did not say this yesterday. You all got a long rest on your way back. Recap will probably be short because I don't have any session notes, but that's mostly because we only did one thing last week, which is take back a ship from some Neogi. You guys journeyed with Cyrilius the Blade off into wild space a short ways from the rock, found his ship, the Swamp Head, and proceeded to forcibly retake it from these spider-like aliens called Neogi. Cyrilius was kind enough to clear the top deck of most of the adults while you guys ventured below and dealt with not only the egg nest, but any of the Neogi that hatched at the time. And after a scrap, we'll call it an intense little scrap, you guys were victorious. Demos chose to help fly the Swamp Head back to the Rock of Brawl. Interesting experience for Demos. But other than that, I don't think there was a whole lot of questions, snide remarks, comments, things I forgot. Anyway.
I do have something, but Barbara, I need you to well, it sucks that we don't have Josh here, but I'll do it this week in case we don't get him next week. Barbara, can you turn your camera on for me? Yeah, me and Devin did a intro video to here's Appalachian Dragons and here's what we are. And we have a part where we say, and they play Spelljammer 998 with these assholes. Say hi, assholes. And so I need everybody here to wave together and say hi, assholes. So, 3,
hi, asshole.
2, 1.
Hi,
assholes.
That's all I need. Thank you.
I'm glad you remember.
All right, I'm going back into my reclusion. Y'all lucky I was even wearing clothes. Hot damn.
Lordy. That would get us more views, but it would also get us kicked off of YouTube, so you know.
That's true. We'd have to move several different
Debatably.
Give Dungeon Master a new meaning.
I vote we just all have a session where we all wear overalls and nothing underneath, and we'll just have an overall.
I was about to say, didn't we have a conversation?
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, I know. Well, that's going to be our first live stream, just all overalls.
Variation of that challenge, you only wear the straps to the overalls and nothing else, but because of the way we're cut off, no one will ever know. Roll them dice.
You can do whatever you want with the bottom half of your overalls. I don't care. All right, y'all.
Titled, we're over all of it.
True. It's true. Okay, you guys did make your way back to the rock. After helping Cyrilius, you were paid 4,000 gold pieces for your services. And also, you guys probably land back on the rock, both the ship that he took, the little dragonfly you flew over, and the Swamp Head. Demo sets the Swamp Head down at the docks of the Rock of Brawl a little bit before lunchtime, and the day is y'all's. Cyrilius...
I will say the landing was probably a little rough. My first time doing it, probably a little bumpy. It's fine. We all made it.
There's minor damage to the pier. No biggie.
Forgot he let you drive.
Yeah, there is no place to actually dock the Swamp Head. You cannot land it. You have to bring it up against one of these piers as if you were floating on the water.
I see.
And Cyrilius would tell you at some point, if anyone asked, that this one cannot land
because
on
of
the
the
ground.
shape of it. That makes sense.
But he can sail it over water, as is the case with many of the ships. Is there anything you guys would like to ask him before you guys go? He does thank you all profusely and says, I'm going to make my way back to the... okay, so Devin calls it XLTD because it's such a fucking long name. So I apologize if characters start calling it that. So I really says, I'm going to head back to Xeno Termination and file the minimal paperwork required, not only to get you guys inserted at a 2nd star level, but to have this mission put on your record. Congratulations. Not everyone makes it in, and not everyone does quite so well on their first chaperone. You guys will now be cleared to take missions from 2-star and lower, and you get some experience under your belts. We'll talk about taking on some of the harder stuff. You guys need me for anything, please let me know. And he is going to go about his business. If you don't have anything else
before he saunters off, first of all, what was the name of the organization again? I have it in my notes from previous days.
Xeno Termination Ltd. XTLTD, it says in my notes.
Second of all, they must have asked him, you mentioned that this ship could traverse on water. I understand it creates a field of gravity and of oxygen. That would apply underwater as well, correct?
No, not this one. The gravity doesn't stop the water from. It has a. He explains that it has a gravity plane, like so. All ships, there's a line that runs through the middle of them. Gravity pulls towards the line, which is why you can walk on the bottom of some floors. But that does not make a bubble. There is an air envelope. He tells you, and the air envelope. You guys may have figured this out by now in character, but he tells you the air envelope only lasts so long. You do have to stop at fresh air envelopes or get where you're going before the air in the envelope goes stale. Not a big deal for you guys are kind of doing a lot of all your travel is being done in places that are somewhat well traveled through shipping lanes and stuff. Not been a big deal. You guys go deeper. He warns you, if you go deeper into wild space, it becomes an issue about re-upping your air or cleaning your air in your air envelope. But it does not prevent water from coming through. He tells you that he has seen ships that are that can traverse the ocean, underneath the ocean and the sky.
All right, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Let me take the keys. That was rather fun.
No, of course, it's a great skill for any of you to have. Any of you that can do it, I highly suggest it. I'm a little jealous myself.
Meta-wise, 2 stars, is that difficulty level? Or... Okay.
2 out of 3, 5, 25?
It's probably going to be 5 or 6.
47.
I'm thinking like, I think, and I won't really know till I start laying them out, but I think things like Ancient Dragons, Beholders, Liches, I think they would be like 6 stars. We'll see.
I do have a quick question before he leaves. I'll ask him real quick. Hey, brother, you from around here? Or you just traveling through, same as us?
I've been around here a little while, but I didn't come from here.
Fair enough. What do you know about the political scape of this place? I heard some rumors. There's a weird power hierarchy. I also heard that you guys farm on the bottom of this thing where there's no light. How does that even make any sense?
Well, I can't rightly explain it myself. It's a little out of my expertise, but it is not uncommon for the rock to rotate. The veins are moved daily to make sure they work. But it's my understanding the rock moves a good bit, and we are unaware. Given the nature of the gravity planes, we wouldn't know if we flipped upside down.
All right, fair enough. So you're telling me this thing does sort of flip over like a pancake or whatever you want to call it?
Sure, it's been my experience. Sometimes they'll do a whole flip in a day. Sometimes it's most of the time scattered out over several days.
So
I
you see the
angling to keep the farms towards the sun, or to get them the sun they need. You have to ask. I imagine some of Prince Andrew's men are responsible for that. A-N-D-R-U.
So we would see the sun traverse across the plane if the ship was rotating, correct?
Depending on how fast it was going.
Interesting.
All right, fair enough. I had heard a rumor that the poor folks on the bottom never got to see any sunlight, and it seemed like an awful shame considering they grow most of the crops and do all the heavy lifting, But who am I to judge?
I'd be careful if I was you, friend. You get caught and thrown in jail. That's where you'll get sent. They keep prisoners on the other side of the rock, and soldiers, of course.
All right, stay out of trouble. Check.
We have not done that since we've met, but all right.
Episode 15, Randy's Uprising.
That's it. That's all. That's all I wanted to ask. I was just curious.
Anything else for your hippo frame?
We headed, boys.
Yeah.
We've got well, we don't have. We could return back to Eberron and I think pick up some payment. I'm not even on, to be honest. Yeah, from Thora. Yeah, she still owes us money from the flip. Well, they gave us the ship, which was hazard pay, but I think there's still something that we're owed back on
Marcus
the planet.
Marcus give y'all the money for that.
I see. All right.
One thing I will say is you guys can, if you wish, go look at the Xeno Termination board.
I was about to say. do that.
I
And
can
then
put that in chat if you guys want to decide what you would do after you left.
Can't hurt to swing by and
Yeah.
see what's on the board before we, mosey on home and figure out what goodies Sly has for us.
Yeet.
Yeet. I'm gonna put this snail's
We'll have
dossier.
two
I think it
ships.
will
That'll be rather fun.
Oh, it's an image. Let me know if y'all can read that.
I can't read.
I'm aware.
I can. Let's see. If I open it in browser.
Yeah. Oh, my message is too long. It has to be uploaded as a file. Amazing cost. This happens.
Oh my, this is quite a lot. We're only cleared up to 2-star though, right? So we
Yes.
can't take any of the 3-star.
And
Yes.
would we say the mission we went on with him would be equivalent to a 2-star?
Yes.
Wait one moment. The Sean Bond Pet Emporium has requested a group of brave enough to attempt to capture a night scaver. I don't know what a night scaver is. That's rather interesting. That's back on Eberron though. I say that one catches my attention a little bit.
You think maybe we could 2 birds with 1 stone? The gone fishing looks like it also has something to do with scavers. So you can return them dead or alive. Maybe we find a special one while we're there and kill 2 birds with 1 stone at some point.
I think they're separate. I think one is down on Eberron, one is up here at the rock.
I'm just thinking
if correct in that.
So I really told you guys, pointed out to you guys some scavers. They're the space sharks I sent you guys pictures of earlier in the week. They do inhabit wild space.
So, Sean Bard Emporium has it lost one? They're asking us to catch one and bring it to them. I see now.
Yeah, so my thought is we go on the hunting trip for the sharks and maybe we find one of the special ones and bring it back alive.
Let's say y'all haven't seen a night scaver, but you've seen some scavers. Probably the 2 I sent you, the gray and the brown.
I assume Goob is not here, but I'll ask him because he is the contact for these particular people. Goob, are you aware if we could have a creature teleported for a fee? I assume through your friends, the not the Githyanki, I forget what they were, the M.A.N.T.I.S.
I think Goob would say blub blub.
He thinks they would be unappreciative if we were to destroy anything or to bring destruction through their thing. But as long as it were contained, he doesn't think that they would, it would not bother them. If it were on your person, so to speak, they wouldn't think much about it, especially if you were to pay them for it.
Interesting. Since we're, I assume, at the bar or at the Xeno termination looking at this listing, could I ask either Cyrilius, like, how would one go about capturing one of these creatures for one of these capture
sleep
quests?
potion arrows.
Because that's generally up to each individual group. But I have some use magic to keep it asleep, or potions, or heavy doses of alchemical works. Some people capture and restrain them. Others of the more magical and or rich variety will enlist magical means to subdue, diminish, and transport the creature. Depending on your skill level, financial income, or expertise, it could be done many ways.
Randy rubs all 4 arms together and he's like, I'm going to ride it.
And he's looking at these. I imagine you guys have pulled them off the board or whatever. He's looking at him and he says, now those small ones I would suggest you can get big enough nets, and depending on the ship you're using, you could trawl for them. For those of you who don't know, trawling is where you take a big old net, throw it off the back of the boat. In the real world, it's dragging the net upon the ground, and you get rocks, seashells, starfish, mollusk urchins, things like that. But you could just throw one out, let it drag behind the ship, and, for lack of a better term, trawl. He thinks that nets would be useful for the gone fishing. He says he's not entirely sure about catching a night scaver. You can tell he's not looking at it like he's afraid, but he reads it and he's like, got your hands full there, Fritz.
So I'm confused because both the gone fishing and the catch the creature have the option to return alive. If we were to drag the net, would it not catch them alive? Or
the night scaver one that has to come back alive.
Well, both the gone fishing says dead or alive. The catch the creature says alive. So I assume if people are gone fishing and bringing them back alive, is that something that can be done with the net? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. Is for the gray scavers, they are often caught with nets.
But the night scavers are
The
not.
night scaver, he says, is a handful. He
Interesting.
tells you they're large. He says it won't be much smaller than
You
the
say-
dragonfly you guys wrote in on.
Oh damn! You say people implement magical items to do this. I can hold a person. I can't hold a creature or a monstrosity or anything like that. Where would somebody get something like that? And if you know, how much would it run them?
You can see he's thinking about it. He says, it's my understanding that many people grab a hold of these, the Mercane, or I imagine many of the adventuring shops in that city of towers down there on Eberron can sell you guys these chain contraptions. I don't know rightly what to call them myself. And he gives you guys a description of what is like these. It's almost like manacles, but think of more like a bundle of chains. They're a little heavier and bigger to tote around, but he essentially explains them as once they are activated and placed on the creature, they bind the creature so that it can't move and place it in a sort of stasis. He says it won't diminish or reduce their size, but it will make them catatonic. And will, in the event you brought them to somewhere where there was gravity, they would float. For my magic players, it's kind of like a water knot.
So we would have to go back on Eberron to get the equipment to catch something that we can only catch in the astral sea. We'd have to do a little back and forth.
So I really also ask you guys have a ship to go chasing these.
Yeah, two now.
Not yet. Well, the dragonfly is not flying. We could go back to Eberron and pick up that one. The damselfly, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that's the play. To go back and get our ships, we can even try to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's hilarious that the gone fishing pays less for a live scaver than a dead one, because we'll just kill the ones that are living if they're worth twice as much dead. I mean, shit.
I don't
That's
see where you see that. They're 50 gold dead and 75 gold alive.
Oh, I thought that was 25. I'm sorry. This image is a little blurry.
I tried to post them as text, it wouldn't let me. Yeah, Seb.
I got you.
I'll fix it here just a second. So it sounds like you guys want to go back home and then maybe re-pursue this quest for it.
Well, that's what I'm telling our group. If we do the gone fish and catch the creature, that's our option. Is there anything else that jumps out to anybody?
Not particularly.
We also don't know how many fish we would be able to catch after all this trouble.
Yeah, the only reason that I think it's interesting, because we're looking for the night scaver as well, we might as well catch any others we find along the way. But I adhere to your point.
I will note that the Gone Fishing does say that a client has asked for the opportunity to be taken, which means that they'll need to ride along. They want to go fishing. It's not just that we're going to capture them, is what it sounds like. So I don't think this is going to be like we just casually do it on the way home and then come back.
No, you
That's a
gather
good
that as
point.
long as you return the scavers to XTLTD, it doesn't matter if you guys, if you did it. They want they want to take the opportunity of this, where this congregation has begun to take place. They want to take the opportunity to fish while they're in that lane or inhabiting that area.
But not the
They just want people
individual.
to do it
We
for
don't
them.
have to have.
Yeah, they want people to do it for them.
Okay.
I mean, that's my primary motivation. Not my primary motivation, but that's the largest draw, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we
DM,
can
could you remind? Was that Ben? I'm sorry.
Well, I said as long as we have to hunt something, Drix is fine.
I guess we need to make the most amount of money the quickest way as possible to get that
Yeah.
helm.
And Devin will I'll ask the DM. How much party bank gold did we have? It was like close to 8K, I think. We're not far from the
It is
10K
close
that
to
we need.
8K. It's like 7.3 or something now.
So if we get the 2K from 7.3, we'd need 27. If we do the catch the creature and the gone fishing, I think we might make enough combined gold. Go ahead and get our ship up and running and have a second one. I don't know how high of a priority that is.
I think it's
And
pretty
we'll
cool.
let y'all ogle it. We'll let y'all
It is-
ogle
it-
these two. Oh.
It is nice to be a level 3 character and or a level 4 character and have a fleet of spaceships. We can't do any of the 3-star, right?
Cannot, but I'm going to put them there for y'all to ogle.
That's a lot of information to ogle, my friend. I said
Well-
we head back to Eberron, get our ship.
So we don't currently have a functional ship, right? We have to teleport back, get our
Correct.
ship, and then we can, on the way back
Correct.
here, if we want to, try to catch some of these scavers.
And
It's
hopefully,
also been like 2.5-ish weeks since you've been to Appalachian, so you've got some people to talk to and catch up with.
Hmm.
the only thing we were waiting on was the crime scene, and then there's somebody coming back the 1st of next month. So I don't know if we have any urgent need to.
You're not going to talk to Sly. You know he has a mission for you.
Oh, yeah,
That's dumb.
we've got an abundance of missions now, though.
Yeah, these are all, of course, side quests.
There's also a working ship we can get from him. So
It's true.
No, I'm definitely saying.
So you
Check in,
guys
pick
make your
up.
way back to the M.A.N.T.I.S front. You guys make your way to the back end to a. So you are taken to a room where it is a smaller, takes up 5 feet, a smaller circle that upon being paid, the Mercane speaks some words over, adjusts some glyphs, and the circle inscribed in the ground sparks to life, begins to glow, and you all, one after the other, file through as you step into it. Boom. You are teleported. I like to imagine it feels like apparating in Harry Potter. If any of you have read that description, it doesn't sound pleasant. And you guys back to what is originally a dark room, but you are very soon, as soon as you land, another Mercane is opening a door, and you guys can see you're now standing on a large teleportation circle. Many of you even Demos that study these kind of things are probably aware that the ones you teleport to are usually pretty big. You guys are led through a very short, what is essentially a series of backrooms, hallways kind of thing, until you are led out of another front, what appears to be a ramshackle, shitty merchant that has a Mercane warehouse hidden magicked into the back. And you guys are spit out into the middle of Shard. You guys emerge out of the somewhat dark storefront into the bustling and busy streets of Shard. Hello, friends. You guys are planted right in M.A.N.T.I.S Plateau, which is smack in the middle. I gotta move you guys where you can see this place. So you guys are spit out somewhere in M.A.N.T.I.S Plateaus. I imagine you're in somewhere in the middle district. You have just height to get a bearing on kind of where you are in the city. Where would you like to go first?
Going straight to Sly. Joe, you're muted.
Yeah, I heard
The
we'll
only
go
place
through
we can
without
go, I
there.
think, is the Sly. He's the only one that has anything ready for
Right.
us. We could check in with the Decanith to see if there's any progress on the investigation. I can't think of anything else presently.
Heard the
Let's
theater.
go see Sly.
Okay, y'all make your way back to the Diamond Theater, which I believe is in M.A.N.T.I.S Plateau. Yeehaw. You guys are not terribly far from it. After about 30 minutes of walking, you guys make your way to the theater, and you guys walk in. Kind of as you walk in, flashing your VIP slips to the person that would have been taking tickets, who immediately, more or less, hits you guys walk on through, and you guys spot your good friend Cade Westwood. Seems to be talking to the person at the bar who gives out the drinks or whatever. He sees you guys, immediately brightens up and begins and strolls over to you guys. He says, "Well, look at that, friends. I was wondering what the fuck is that?" And he points at Zephyr's foot.
What, you ain't ever seen a pretty boy before? Like, totally oblivious that it's directed at my foot.
You just Y'all were gone less than a month, and you're missing a foot. That's fucked up, friends. Y'all need to be more careful. I'm assuming you're here looking for Mr. Sly.
Indeed, we are.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Says, well, that's good. He said, I've been going back and forth between that tavern y'all like to stay in and here, wondering when y'all would show up again. I hadn't heard much from y'all since he told y'all stuff was ready. We wondered if y'all made it, but judging by our pretty friend here, I reckon y'all must have run into some situations. Sorry about your foot, friend.
That's an understatement, but I've gotten along just fine. No biggie.
He gives it a slightly perturbed look, and he gestures for you all to follow. He does take out a sending stone and alert Sly that you guys are back. He's taking you guys to the safe house, he calls it. You guys are led to. Notes don't fail me now. Oh no, notes don't fail me now. Perfect. You guys are led to the Mithril Tower, which is in Upper Central. So this is the Central Plateau. So you guys have to essentially take a kind of sky bridge, or I think it's more likely you guys call what essentially a cab would be the equivalent of a cab. Be like in a little air flying taxi kind of thing. Elemental cart that flies, if you will. You guys make your way from the M.A.N.T.I.S Plateau to Central on up to one of the upper levels of the Central Plateau to Mithril Towers. And it's pretty easy to see on your way through that it is a residential district. It does seem to be mostly houses. There are some nicer restaurants, some nicer inns, a very small amount of shopping, like you might imagine grocery shopping or household. There are no appliances, but you get what I'm trying to say. And so you are led to a fairly nice, not suburb, but there is this what appears to be there are sections of Shard like this that have some greenery, and they have admittedly floating on top of a tower, but you guys are led to what is a surprisingly wooded space. Oh no. Let's see how much of this y'all can see. Is it all of it? Can y'all see all of it?
I can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
What is a large house? So for y'all as players, the first floor is the ground floor. The second one beneath that is the upper floor, and then you have a roof. If you scroll down and look, you guys would see upon making your way onto the property a large red and black ship, or red and gray wood, red metal with these 4 large translucent wings, like wasp wings or bee wings, mounted on top what appears to be a platform on top of the manor.
Yeah, just checking that out.
And Kay kind of leads you guys in, and Sly appears, not appears, I should say, but he does slip out of the front gates. You guys are showing up the front doors, and it says, well, I'm glad it took you guys a little while to get back, to be honest. We was afraid it took a little more time than we was expecting to have the aviary torn down off the roof. The previous tenants were quite an eclectic group that needed more space to expand their operations. A pet shop or something like that. But now that you're all here and has given us the needed time, welcome to your headquarters. You are
Wait, what?
getting...
We live here?
Y'all asked for for accommodations, and it was provided. As I told you, agents of the eyes lack nothing, and I meant it. There is enough room here for all of you. A place for you all to have a workshop, a library, a place up top to work on your ship, and places even for staff and crew if you so desire.
Oh, damn. Bougie.
He does give you guys a tour. And I'm not going to go through all of it. This down here, over here on the left, is staff quarters, crew quarters, however you guys want to use that. And of course, there is a library, multiple, as well as larger, nicer bedroom floor, the second floor, along with most of these other rooms are either dining rooms places to eat, sitting rooms, places to lounge. It is. You can tell it is very multi-purpose. And,
Lavish.
It is lavish. You guys are
A
being
little bit.
bribed. Not bribed. Doted on? I don't know what you call it. He promised y'all be taken care of.
Ship,
All right.
the ship on the roof.
I don't mind slide now.
Is
The
that
ship
ours?
is the ship is on the roof. So if you guys will look here, there is a here. That's how you get up to the roof. And I believe, if I was remember this right, a kind of workshop up here on the top, very top left. And I like to imagine I didn't put any tokens down. I forgot this little what would have been like a pig pen has been converted to a small training yard where there are training dummies, targets for archery or knives and things of that nature. The ship up top
Alright.
is indeed yours. He leads you all from top to bottom through the house, giving a much better tour than I did. He eventually leads you outside up the ladder to your where you guys see on the side painted is the Ember Wasp and some supplies laying around the ship. Mostly
Number what?
crates and barrels of things that you would need, just general sailing equipment, for lack of a better term. I can't believe I didn't click that after moving you guys to it. But here is the Ember Wasp.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
again, yeah, I need to pull a picture of what these actually look like. Everything on the main part that is red is made of metal. Everything that is gray would be wood. I'm gonna get you guys a kind of picture of this.
That was like a mosquito.
They do look kind of like a mosquito.
I must say, something you said piques my interest. You had mentioned that this had previously been a pet shop. This wouldn't have been the location of the Charn Barn that I've heard about at Moorgrave, would it be?
No, the Sean Barn is down near the docks. That was the original dwellings of the people that just purchased this place from. They didn't have their pet shop here. They occasionally used it as a landing space whenever they obtained more creatures. But now they bought quite a nice storefront in a district name, one of the adventuring districts. Clifftop? It's in my notes. I'll find it in a second. He tells you where it is.
Deimos, who meticulously took notes, of course, upon what we were looking at. I believe we ought to deliver something to the Sean Barn as part of one of these quests, or at least we're hoping to. It's rather interesting that we've inherited their property. And it not a dime.
Well, not a dime to any of you.
We had spoken with another associate that we might be able to get netting and devices to contain the powerful creatures we capture in the astral sea. Would you know by chance where we might acquire such things?
Fuck is an astral sea.
You have a spaceship on the roof, and you don't know what the Siberi Sea. I don't know what you want to call it, like Eberron Sea. Like, I've established a term for it. Wild
I've been
space.
calling it wild space because cyberspace.
I thought wild space was the area between different realms.
Wild space is what y'all been fucking around in. That looks like space, but the ocean. The astral sea. None of you would have ever heard.
Is beyond that, yeah. And I understand that. Meta-wise, we don't know, but interesting.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get this.
We're wondering how we can convert this to a trawling wasp, if possible.
He says, I don't know much about space fishing, friends, but M.A.N.T.I.S or any of the adventuring stores should be able to help you find what you need to do that kind of thing. You could also return to the rock and speak with some of the fishermen there. I do have equipment for you all, but I do not think it would be beneficial to fish.
The people on the rock sent us here, so we were teleported to a Mercane.
Fighting equipment?
Let's put this. I'm gonna put it in your party inventory. It's quite a few things. Oh no! So I keep forgetting it wants to do videos instead of not videos, pictures instead of text. It's done. all together, he presents you guys. He goes into one of the, where is it at? So one of the rooms, I believe I designated it maybe this room. There is a room on the Wasp. So this little back part here is storage. This is like a war room table. There's a couple things I got in there right there. I'll do that in a second. All right, we'll go in order. Here we go. Of course, there's the top with the very top deck where you shoot shit from. Real cool. There's the helm. Fun fact. This helm here is sitting upside down. So there's like a floor that divides the head of. And if you go down to where the helm sets, it is upside down. That is the other side of the gravity. So whoever's flying it will literally be sitting upside down in this area. You'll be stuck to the floor of that area, for lack of a better term. Kind of crazy, right? Weird stuff. You can see here, y'all see this, if you go to the very top, look at the left, top left, there's a little circle. That's where the helm is. It's tucked underneath that deck, upside down, because gravity planes pull. That's how gravity planes work. They top and bottom. They pull top and bottom. It's weird. I don't understand. But anyway, then of course there's the companionway. There is a war room. You guys are shown a room that has a map already on it, a small sidebar with a variety of liquors and spirits, and a very interesting mirror leaned against one wall, gleaming, spotless. And Sly tells you guys that this is a commonly used piece of equipment in much of spycraft. I can explain a little more about what it does. He then shows you guys, there's the sitting room, there's hammocks, and all that fun stuff. There's a cargo hold. In this little area in the middle, he has more or less crew lockers. And spread out amongst crew lockers, you guys find the equipment promised. Altogether, you find 2 wands of magic missile, 2 drift globe, 2 ropes of climbing, something that many of you may not be familiar with, he calls a shadow globe, 2 hats of disguise, another odd necklace most of you wouldn't really be familiar with that looks like a large gilded eye, on top of a rod. It's a very interesting rod that he doesn't set it down gingerly. It looks funny. It almost looks like just a metal rod. There are glyphs and runes inscribed all over it, but it doesn't glow, doesn't look particularly intimidating. It's kind of short. He slaps that down. And of course, a little locker of spell scrolls. Assorted spell scrolls.
Interesting. When he slaps down the rod, if he doesn't give us any information about it, I'll identify it. It'll take me 10 minutes, but...
Caesar Shark says, no, hold on now, friend. I've got you. He holds up. Drift globes are like these little glass. They got a Christmas ornament made of glass.
Not this drift globes, the staff with the gilded eye.
I know. He's going to go from the beginning to the end. And he holds up not a drift globe, but a black drift globe. Essentially looks like it's been blown out of black glass. He says, these are something the eyes came up with to give us a helping hand. It has a couple of charges, and it can either make you all more difficult to detect or create darkness in a certain spot. Picks up the rod. Says, this here is a rod of warning. One of you keeps it on you at all times. It will be supremely difficult to be surprised. Should emit some kind of noise when some bad shit's coming y'all's way. Super handy. And he holds up the necklace I mentioned of a large gilded eye. He says, this one is a personal favorite. I'll call it a project. It's you can use it. You can put it on and wear it and speak its command word, and it will show in that mirror whatever you can see. You can also use it, I think I put down there, you can also use it to cast spells that allow you to see in other rooms or from a distance away. Most of you meta talk, it lets you cast the Arcane Eye spell, which is a pretty neat spell. But the little extra bit is that it can cast its vision to the mirror in the war room.
Body cam.
It is like a body cam.
That's pretty cool, though.
It says they are very helpful for people like me getting a little too old to be in the thick of things. Now, of course, I won't be standing in your war room while you're working. You're all independent contractors. But for any of you that may prefer to run operation, it is an option.
Hmm.
Sounds good.
So is that what the shadow globe is versus the drift globes? The shadow globe's the one that can cast darkness.
I think it can also cast Pass Without a Trace. Is that right? You said it make it harder
Yes.
for us to be seen.
I think I've got it
makes
set
sense.
up where it has 5 charges. Oh, I made these. I knew I handled this at some time. These are made in Beyond. I just need to figure out the right names so I can give them to you guys. But the one is Drift Shadow Globe.
One of you sneaky boys should take the Shadow Globe. I already have a wand of magic missiles, so if anybody else would want one, we've got 2 extras. The drift globes, I don't think are going to come in as much handy, but it wouldn't hurt to have. I already have a spell of Arcane Lock, a scroll of Arcane Rock, but I can grab the other 3.
Well, there's technically 1 scroll. Well,
There's a sorted spell scrolls that has 4 underneath it.
There's not a 4. Oh, I see.
Arcane Lock, Lesser Invisibility, Silver Thread, Hypnotic Pattern.
And it looks like there's
Arcane
another
Eye.
scroll for Arcane Eye. I don't know why it's fucked up like that. I'll say there's probably 2 of each of those.
2 of each?
I think so.
Oh, damn.
Y'all were promised,
Deimos is going to take 1 of each of everything but the Arcane Lock and be like, I'm going to add these to my spell book so we can use them more than once.
Sly just tell you, he just suggests, he says, you of course can leave this here on the ship and take from the lockers as you wish, and our friend Cade here will be happy to keep you guys supplied if you will stay in contact with me or him. If you could let me know when you need supplies, he will be glad to restock.
Supplied with this equipment, or
Yes, isn't like
just general like rations and
all of the above. Particularly with the spell scroll, the consumable stuff.
if we go and use 2 scrolls of lesser invisibility, you'll give us 2 more scrolls of lesser invisibility. Is that right?
Assuming you can, assuming you're not going through them like candy, and I can see demonstratable efforts or demonstratable rewards from your uses of things.
And the Arcane Eye is a scroll as well, or is that part of the
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
the
The one at
different?
the bottom. I think it's supposed
I
to
see
be.
it at the top and the bottom.
The one at the top is a necklace.
Yeah. Or the bottom?
The one
Scroll?
at the bottom is supposed to be a scroll. I don't know why it's formatted that way.
Does the
Deimos is
necklace
going to take the
serve any different purpose than the scroll, or is it just you wearing it versus using a spell?
If
the
a spell
necklace can
scroll will-
transmute it back to the mirror here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the necklace is reusable. That spell scroll will after it's used.
Deimos is going to take each of the 4 bottom scrolls and say, unless any of you gentlemen have a objection, if I add these to my spell book, we can use these multiple times and therefore get more mileage out of them. That's all right. I'll go ahead and throw a few of these in my bag here. We should take that Rod of Warning as well. That seems like eerie
Yeah.
foreshadowing that I do not.
I was gonna say, unless somebody is opposed, I would like to take that. After getting ambushed by the big metal guys, I think that I'm a little bit gun shy about people getting surprise attacks on us.
It is a really cool item. Come on, where'd it go? I'm gonna send you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you what it does. So this is actually a template. It says Weapon of Warning. Y'all's is a Rod of Warning. I guess I'll put this where you can, and I'll see. Yeah, so if y'all look at that wash ship in chat, if y'all seen that earlier, everywhere that's gray is metal. So on y'all's ship, that's all red, and all the wood is this kind of dark gray. A wasp. There's your description of the Weapon of Warning. You know, y'all's is a rod. And you now have your own ship, the Ember Wasp, with its nice, pretty, kind of black wood throne sitting upside down inside the wasp's head. Sly does lead you guys, not, I guess, off the ship, but onto the roof of your headquarters. He says, well, now that you guys have seen all the employment here has to offer, I was hoping we could discuss some more lucrative business arrangements. If no one is opposed,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess not.
he does lead you guys to. He says, well, this is your abode. Where would you like to receive guests? There are several places here.
In the entryway or lounge, I suppose.
The foyer, I'm assuming.
Looks like there's a room right in the front where where there's like a piano and some benches. I think that's probably a good entertaining area.
It's for he follows you guys in there. You all not pile up, but you all take a seat. He goes to the table there and begins to lay out documents as he had previously. And he says, now that you all are officially contractors for my organization, we can begin to move forward with more delicate work. I guess it may be a scroll, it wouldn't be a folder, a rather thick scroll. This is the equivalent of him taking out one of the big manila folders and like throwing it down on the table. Takes out a rather thick scroll, maybe a couple of smaller scrolls instead, who knows, and begins to roll them out and kind of get everything spread out. And he says, not so long ago, some of the wizards of the Royal Academy, one of the ships for the Royal Academy picked up an odd disturbance on the moon of Therendor. After a little bit of exploration, we have found it to be quite large and to be extremely sturdy. There seems to be some kind of... my understanding of it is not great. Some kind of barrier. We believe there's something inside that could be... We're not sure, to be quite honest. Whatever it is must be important. This barrier has been impervious to near all kinds of magic that have been attempted to be cast upon it. Apparently neither flesh nor warforged can pass through it. And we have lost a handful of scholars and explorers in the attempt to break through this barrier. This is where you all come in. Supposedly, this also creates complications, sandstorms. This is a desert location, but intense drought and sunlight, even beyond what you would expect from a desert. And of course, the barrier itself. We have reason to believe there are ruins, but again, it's difficult to tell. We are prepared to pay you all 5,000 gold pieces for this contract to go and remove this barrier. What you do after that, we do not particularly, does not particularly matter to us. Should you find or retrieve an artifact we can all come to a consensus is valuable, there may be extra compensation for releasing whatever you find to us. Or you can crack the barrier like an egg, be on your way, and go hunt your sharks.
Is there any
From my understanding,
Sorry, you can go on.
no, you're fine. The delay is killer. Is the barrier around the entire moon or just an isolated part of the moon?
An isolated spot in the desert. They believe that there's some kind of ruins there.
Is there any expectation for us to turn over any items we find? Or is it more like if you find something cool?
We would like to know about what you find. Obviously, we believe there is something causing this barrier or something that something believed was worth hiding. Obviously, we would like to get a hold of whatever that is. We would like the opportunity to determine if whatever items you find match that caliber of valuable. Many of our major reason to believe there is something extremely powerful in there.
But flesh and metal can't pass through.
Not that we are aware of. Apparently not corpses
That's
either.
of magic.
Nor corpses. Y'all threw skeletons at it?
I don't know. That's just the reports I've been hearing. I wonder the same thing myself.
What about an exoskeleton?
I don't know that any Outworlders have tried.
A coob.
We got some slime.
Have you thrown some plasmoids? Neither liquid
guess-
nor solid. Maybe.
Each wrong with the things to themselves at the door. Keep it up,
Guess
the
we can
plasters.
check it out.
Interesting.
Is there any other
We
jobs?
could check that out.
5K would be nice.
This is we will start with this. To be honest, this is well, we wanted to head. I imagine that after you retrieve this artifact and we have a chance to gather information about it, there will be more things we need from you all.
What was the moon again? Moon of Erendor?
Therendor. 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 If you ask,
Rede.
I'll pretend you guys did ask. It tells you it is about a month away.
A month.
Is there a time limit on the completion?
Shake this. No, as far as we are aware, no one has had any. As long as someone else does not do it before, you cannot. Of course, I don't want to wait multiple months for my contract to be fulfilled, but.
Out of curiosity, would the Rock of Brawl be on the way? This 1 month journey, I mean.
He kind of chuckles and says, I guess that depends on where the moon is. Because I'm not privy to star charts at the time.
Aren't you like the head of an intelligence organization or something? I just kind of assumed you would know these kind of things.
No, I don't keep track of where the Warriors are, friend. I keep track of what all these motherfuckers are doing in this country. If Therendor the rock could be on the way to Therendor, if it's in the right orbit.
Who would I need to go to find out? Who would be privy to that?
You could go to the
University, huh?
Yes, you could go to the university and find an orrery. There are probably many orreries at the university that are set to the actual physical locations of the moons around Eberron. So really, you just need to find someone whose orrery is set correctly. You may have one in your office. Like depending on who you're talking to, they're not hard to find. He just does not. It's not something he doesn't have an orrery on his desk, so he doesn't know where all the planets are at this particular time. That's very much an astronomical field of study.
Just like our odds.
I don't know. I feel business across planets and moons and multi-astral networks would be something that shouldn't be too difficult to come upon. We can find somebody to get us that information. Do you have any other business for Mrs. Sly? Gentlemen?
I saw Cade had a sending stone. Do we have one that we could keep in touch with you already?
Yes, y'all do.
Okay. Well, then we'll be in touch. Thanks for the sweet gear.
Of course, we the Royal Eyes taught me long ago that loyalty isn't always hard to buy. He leaves.
Well, that just made me feel cheap.
For real.
Hey, you gotta keep your mercs happy.
You do gotta keep your marks happy.
I sit back in my chair. I'm like, you mean to tell me this guy's got all kinds of weapons and spying gear, and he don't have one single net big enough to cover a giant? I mean, we could have surely used that for a shark, right? Come on.
Well, I also find it weird that the people on the rock told us to check down in Eberron, and the people on Eberron tell us to go back to the rock. We were told to check the lower districts.
You were told
so perhaps we could check.
Mercane or adventuring shops could get these things for you.
On the rock, they told us
There
the
is
lower
no
districts of Sharn. Maybe, perhaps
Oh,
adventuring
well, I think
shops
that's-
in the.
I think you were told that's where the Sharn barn used to be.
John Barn!
When we asked about nets and items to disable the beast to get it for transport, we were told
Yes,
to go
you were-
look on Sharn.
Yes, you were told adventuring. The adventuring districts in Sharn would have stores that sell mostly adventuring gear. That's where you find that. You didn't ask the Mercane on your way through. Because that's the two places you were told was adventuring stores or Mercane.
The Mercane, yeah.
Understood.
So we're going to one of them?
Yeah, I mean, Mercane's teleportation, I imagine we're going to take the ship out to try to collect these sharks on the way, yeah? Is that our intention?
Yeah. Plus, we don't have another ship, right?
Yeah.
Now, we can teleport if we want to, but that defeats the purpose of trying to troll for
Nah.
sharks on the way out.
Okay.
No, and that also leaves us without a ship, so
It's
no, we do need to
troll,
take off with
not
this
troll.
Is it
Troll.
Correct.
No, it's definitely. I think it actually is troll.
It's right.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Down
Yes, ma'am.
here in
It's
New
troll.
Orleans, we say troll.
Fair
ship.
enough. Troll.
We don't go shrimping, we go trawling.
I love
I
shrimp.
would
Problem.
trust New Orleans people to know that terminology, actually.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I see where you guys are wanting to go with this. So here we go. You guys
before-
spend a little bit of time
Potatoes.
Before
running
we do
around
that,
Shard. Oh,
we need
go
to. We definitely need to find somebody to figure out the charts, because if we can sort of line up our departure with going straight
Trajectory?
past there to hit the moon, that'd be ideal.
Absolutely. What do you boys feel about spending a couple of days here? Does that sound all right?
It's fine
Not
by
to
me.
say that I'm getting homesick, but at
I-
least a night would be appreciated.
I'd actually like to ask around for too long, but we can stay a few days.
Yeah, I don't got a
just
problem with
just a day or two, I think would be good. I'm sorry, I'm looking up the level of these spells from my spell scrolls.
it.
So let me go ahead.
I call
what you
dibs on
want?
that room right there. That's the one I want.
Which end?
The one
The
with the
piano
green
room?
bed and the green rug.
Or
Dibs on blue.
someone who knows how to do the text. Some put Randy's room.
You-
I can figure it out
text
one
the-
day.
I got you, dog. I got you.
Text.
Randy.
Randy.
That's small.
Mercury
text.
teleportation fee. Why didn't you dash? Why did you dot instead of dash? Anyway, so
Already
let's
charged
make-
that to the group.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
here you
was
took it
gonna
out of
say
the
I
bank.
charged the teleportation fee to the party bank earlier.
I don't seize it.
42 gold for 6 people to travel 7 gold each across the Mercane.
Yeah, I don't see it in
Uh,
the party
You
inventory.
put it in a
Is it
different
somewhere else?
chat,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's fine. As long as it's in there where we can see it somewhere. You
I think I put it in the
guys-
bot of holding.
Yeah, he's not working, and I'm not. I'm more worried about making sure y'all have content project. That'll be a next campaign. You guys make your way. Let me think of it. So you guys want? It sounds like you want a big net to try to draw. Do you guys have any specific thing you guys think would be helpful for these fishing? We'll kind of montage your way through getting your equipment.
Do we need like a tank to hold them? Ice chest?
If you ask around, in some of the, I'm going to move you guys to a. No, it's probably not worth it because y'all can't see. So you guys shop around in some of the upper level districts. So especially Upper Dura, there are adventuring districts that are filled with what I imagine to be like hostels full of adventurers, but also very large adventuring stores. This is where the majority of magical items, potions, +1 weapons, armor, and all that stuff is congregated. It's kind of like the Diagon Alley for adventurers. And after asking around for a minute, Echo, you are eventually kind of pointed in the right direction to where you can find either actual holding tanks, so you can have what are essentially these cages that are attached to the side of your ship, where you could store them. Think of like shark cages that would hold multiple of these smaller sharks, and they would kind of be trapped there and forced to move at the speed of the ship. And those are probably the least expensive. After a little bit of talking, you hear that you can get things. I don't want to call them capture balls because I don't want this to become Pokemon. But you do. They are essentially these magical. Translucent orbs that can hold a creature and then reduce itself back down to size. They last for a certain amount of time. They could be put in a thing. And the most expensive option that you hear is what I kind of imagine to be a cage of It looks like a very small. I'm gonna say it looks like a fish bowl, but it acts like a bag of holding. It can store X amount of creatures for X amount of time.
So we put the sharks in the fishbowl and bring them back to, well, potentially one special one back here to Sean, but then the rest of them back to the rock. Is there an expiration? Like, is there, you need to feed them if they're in the fishbowl? Does time suspend?
I'm gonna say that they probably act very similarly. Time spent, probably not. They would need sustenance. You're not so sure about air, but sustenance, yes.
Now,
They're
we
not gonna
saw these
suffocate.
passing
This is-
behind us.
Yes.
We saw
Just
these
see
passing
them-
behind us on the ship, so I assume it's reasonable we might have asked Marcus about them. What do they eat? Like flesh or just scrap metal, or like what kind of things?
Aurelius told you
He
guys.
said
that
scraps.
Yes, the smaller ones, the grays especially, follow behind ships and live off the scraps.
Scraps of what, though, is what I'm meaning.
Generally, anything that
Scraps of
falls off
food.
the ship, scraps of food, anything y'all kill
Rock,
along
metal,
the way.
wood.
Probably more like things you kill along the way or things you break loose. Maybe certain space flora is broken loose during your journey. I imagine them to be almost kind of sort of like bears. So that no, because they're sharks, they need to eat meat. They eat the things they eat the things y'all kill along the way, or the scraps of food y'all drop, stuff that goes bad.
So noted. Randy's just gonna sit on the back of the ship the whole trip, just like eating back there. That's gonna be where his meals will take place. Like, let's see what we can get.
Throw
Okay.
apple peels and banana peels off the back of the deck.
So I will say that a cage of holding is probably going to run you guys close to 2,000 gold. They are fairly expensive for this, essentially a fish vacuum. You guys could choose, if you chose to get the cages on the side of your ship, it'd be about 200 gold. And a capture orb is going to be about 600.
How many can the cages hold?
Depends on how many cages you buy. For 200
How many
gold, you
can
guys
a
get
cage
enough-
hold?
Medium creatures. 6.
So each creature or each cage can hold 6 medium creatures. So for 200 gold, we can hold 12 creatures. 12 is a pretty solid number.
I'm thinking
None
like
of these would
cages
be able.
lined. I'm thinking like cages lined down the side of your ship. So I'm thinking like 3 cages on each side. So like you want to do
That'd be
for 6 times 6 is
30?
what, 36?
36.
Yeah, 36 creatures total for 200 gold.
I see. So 2 cages can hold 12 creatures.
Yes.
So it's
and
6
I would
each,
say
yeah?
that's like
I see.
100 gold.
If that's
And
only
if-
200 gold for 2 cages, that seems like the most economical option. But I don't think
200
that'll
gold
hold
for
the night.
6 cages. It will not hold the night. You're right. You would need to buy one of the capture balls for the night's card.
Capture orbs. Oh god, this is a lot of math. So capture orb is 600. We definitely want one of those.
And if you get those in the
A
cage, you will
capture
spend-
orb only holds 1 creature.
Yes.
So it sounds like we're talking to some seasoned folks. Know what they're doing. Know what they got.
By the
Know how to
time
catch
by the
stuff.
time Echo gets done, for sure. By the time y'all have reached this point, y'all been to several stores and y'all are at the bait shop.
I'm gonna lean over to the shop owner and be like, "Listen, brother, that little ball thing's pretty cool, but I gotta ask you, Bug to, I'm not sure we clarified. Doesn't matter. Bug to you. Anybody ever like tamed one of these things? You know, ridden on it, throw some reins, a saddle on there. I'm trying to save a little
Oh,
money,
yeah,
and I just feel like it might be
well-
easier.
Well, if you go over to the Pet Emporium, they'll sell you some. You can't ride the grays, obviously they're a little too small, but they have been known to both breed and sell brown scabbers as mounts. They're a little expensive, they're very exotic, but it's the best place to procure them in number. The shopkeep gestures to your group.
Is it gray, brown, night? Is there different stages between those 3?
I will say that these people, being experienced, they tell you that you are correct. gray brown night. They tell you night scarvers are rather large. Excuse me. They can grow between to be 15 to 20 feet long. They are not quite the same as the other ones. The other ones will leave most ships alone. Night scavers will come into the envelope of a ship and take the food they want. They talk like they are these guys who have never been adventurers are like, no, we steer the fuck clear of those. That. So they talk about them like they're these big scary things.
For this capture
Probably
orb,
not trainable.
I wouldn't want to try, they tell you.
For this capture orb, does it just we just throw it and it catches it? Is there a save involved? What's the mechanics behind it?
Is there a safe word?
If you can restrain it, it will work automatically. Otherwise, it will have the chance. It will have to make a strength thing to get out. Strength
But we're talking about a big old creature, yeah.
It is pretty big creature.
Of a ship.
Yes, it is pretty big creature. He tells you that is what these particular items are made to do. He tells you that they have been known to be used for many of the dinosaur planes. That they were developed. He tells you that a sorcerer, a shifter sorcerer, developed these specifically for this purpose.
Damn it. Okay, so let me get this straight. The capture orb makes them make a strength save unless they're restrained. I don't think we have anything to restrain that large of a creature. I'll open it up to the party in case anybody's holding out on me.
I think so too.
Incapacitated probably would. But if it faints, then you can't catch it, and if it faints, you can't capture it in the capture orb for some fucking reason, even though that makes no fucking sense. That's the.
I would say for the purposes of this, as long as it's not a spell, because spells can't be pulled. If one of you were to melee it dead and said, no, I don't want to kill it, that would count as well, in my opinion, for this kind of thing. Like we're not trying to pull Pokemon rules one for one. I'm definitely open on. There's definitely a lot of ambiguity about. Yeah, a lot of ambiguity about how you guys could do this.
So we're definitely getting the capture orb. 200 gold. We can get 6 cages to bring 36 maximum of the gray sharks back. 36 either dead or alive. Between 50 and 60 gold is a pretty penny. Plus the 2,300 we get from that. Plus the 5,000 we get from this next mission. We'll definitely have enough to build the ship.
Forgive me if you already said it. Is the capture orb a one-time use?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no return in a used one for half our gold back.
Right, no. He does tell you, if you guys, especially since you guys are so adamant about buying it, he does tell you that they last 24 hours.
Excuse me? Just 20? We have a 2-month trip.
By the time it will, then.
Or excuse me, we have a 2-week trip to get to the rock. Even if we catch it a few days away, we would need to get several of these capture orbs. And then, again, successfully recapture it. I assume when it's released from the capture orb, it will be in the same state it was, right? It won't be fully rested or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't think so. Time passes in the orb.
So we would have to fight this. If we catch this on day 7 of 14, we'd have to fight and catch this thing 7 more times to get it there. Oh, and this is the one that needs to come back to Sharn. So it'll be.
He says that he tells you that generally the way this is handled. He says you can go talk to Moonin or Q at the Sharn Bar for information, but generally these are handled. You go get it, you grab it, you bring it back immediately. He says anytime he's ever heard of groups taking jobs to procure an animal for them, a dangerous animal for them, it's always been get it, bring it back, because most people don't want to fuck with something that big for that long. He says that's how Moonin has always done.
But we would have to catch something within a day's proximity to Eberron.
Or to the rock.
No, it's delivered to the Sharn Barn, correct? The night one says to the Sharn Barn.
But you can teleport back. So you can go out to the rock. You can go less than a day out.
We'd have to go a half a day out, find it, half a day back, and even then we're pushing the 24 hours.
I just like saying Sharn Barn.
Charm barn.
Come on.
That was their favorite thing. Sharn Barn was, they love the Sharn Barn.
Oh, I've
Maybe
got
y'all will
so
get to
many
see the
questions.
historical site of the Sharn Barn. You're on mute, Brandon.
I was saying, who came up with that? Was it Josh?
It's just y'all had so many animals. Half of you were
I think
animals.
it became
just,
that. It was something else, and then we just gradually evolved into that.
Yeah. So the current pet emporium
we
is
had-
not the same place as y'all's old tower, but that's so funny.
Yeah, they went from the tower to this place to a different place. Yeah, am I gathering that correctly?
They did,
'Cause
yeah.
they lived
So
here.
they left to
Okay.
the tower, went to where you guys currently are staying. This is like after there's some their history has changed a little from what you guys may understand. But after making their living, they moved there. They built their business, and now they moved their business to a true storefront in Sharn. The Sharn Barn Pet Emporium, if you guys have probably figured out by now. I will adjust the time on these capture spears to be 48 hours. To make things
So we have
make
a day
a
to
little
go
more
out
sense.
Catch it and bring it back. Okay, that'll make it a little easier. Let's get. Should we get two just in case? Like, I'm a little anxious now, though. I feel 48 hours may not be too bad, but we'll ask the experts. Experts at the fishing shop, the adventurers district. Would it be likely to find one of these within a day's reach of Eberron, or excuse me, of the Rock of Brawl?
Of the rock, almost definitely, because it is out in wild
Perfect.
space. He says it is difficult to find space fauna that big closer to planet side, but the rock is far enough out that you're considered space proper. He says there's a wide variety of things exist, within a day or two of the rock. He also tells you, if you're that worried about it, they do offer. You are shown the chains Cyrelius mentioned. It's essentially an item that restrains and turns something catatonic, and it will float. So it will float behind you while you were walking the street or whatever, but it wouldn't make it smaller. It would just be this big floating restrained thing. And he tells you these are 400 gold, and they're repeated uses. You can take them off and put them back onto things.
Do like
So
the
the-
orb better.
That would come in
Same.
handy.
I don't
For
know,
the
will
big
the- will
thing,
that-
I feel like that's the only
Right.
option.
Right.
For the
I mean,
cages,
unless we want to get the restraints for Zephyr.
for the cages, is there a preferred method that you guys get them in there besides just killing them and throwing them in?
These are easily frenzied. Throw something bloody in the cages, they'll go get it.
I mean, that sounds pretty easy to use then.
Zephyr, we can use your other foot. Like, this is perfect.
Oh my god, did we
Might as
even
well have-
keep my other foot?
we can have a matching set. You can get another cool little fancy saw metal bullshit.
Oh my
Saw
god.
metal, but whatever it is.
Barkeep takes this big bone saw looking thing out from under the counter and sets it on the counter.
Just gonna lock
We're in a
myself
bar? I
in.
thought we were in the Adventurers District.
No,
Any,
and the shopkeep, excuse me.
any bait for the night scabber?
Anything that bleeds.
So like,
They don't sell bait.
Damos
bait.
takes a pointed glance at Zephyr.
I said bait shop earlier as a joke. They're not selling bait because they're not in wild space. But he tells you anything that bleeds. He says, you spill blood close enough to a school of them, they'll all go nuts.
Night Scabber is what I think.
yeah, right.
Oh,
mistake.
bait
The
for the
big one.
night scabber. So no, they reiterate
Or
that
how
that's
do
not
we
something they
attract?
fucked with. He says they tried to keep them away. They're not entirely certain to attract one, but they tell you that they are. He makes it like they would be difficult to scare, meaning that like you could try to throw up some bigger bait. You can tell they're still like that y'all are gonna try to catch one of these, but how do I put this? If you find one, you'll know. It will come to you.
Yeah, I know. I want it to come to me. Just want to make sure. I guess we'll hang over the side of the ship.
I think of what
Seems
they
the
might like.
type to
if you
bleed
could
on
find-
occasion.
If you could find a large enough creature to dangle off the end of your ship, I imagine that would work.
All I
They eat
pictured was
another-
us
would they-
hanging out, either Randy or Trix, on like a rope of climbing and just like yank them in.
You just see water skiing behind the boat.
Would they eat a gray scrapper? Not scrapper.
might.
Scarver.
They might.
We could go get the scavers, hang one behind us, put the rest in the cages, and hope we get a nibble along the way.
That sounds pretty. Like that's a good plan.
Yep.
And if all else fails, we can throw Zephyr out there, and we'll be set. Yeah.
And we
Just
can
gonna-
even orb
Oh,
of darkness the
hide.
ship so that they don't see the giant ship. But
Well,
if the night scaver likes
that's-
ships,
hold on now.
That's kinda what
That's thinking like a fisherman.
First off, I don't think the thing moves, but I don't know. I don't really know magic. Second, I gotta ask you, if this thing's big enough to eat a gray, how big is it? And I think I like sort of hold my arms out. I'm like, are ships about like this, right? How big is it compared to a ship? Is it gonna eat the ship?
Someone told you earlier they could get between 15 and 20 feet
yeah.
long. Which I
he's
think,
about to
15
spit his
isn't bad.
coffee.
well, but 20
15
feet
is 3 squares. 4 feet
20
is 4
feet is,
squares.
I was about to say 20 feet's
4 squares.
not too much smaller than y'all's damselfly. Like it's, like someone told you earlier, they're not going to be terribly smaller than your ship, y'all's particular ships.
That's why we need the orb.
If the damselfly is 20 feet long, we can't fit on it.
I'm about to say it's probably 25 or 30, but you get what I'm saying. Like the ship isn't that much
I
bigger
getcha.
than the shark.
It has
Compared to a
multiple levels.
hammerhead, yeah, the hammerhead, was like big old long ship.
I reckon we should probably take the advice of these master baiters and get whatever they recommend for us to catch this shark, because I don't want to mess with it too much.
I think we said 200 for the 6 cages and 600 for the crystal orb.
I thought
what
it was
we're gonna go
600 or 600 for the capture orb, 200 for the cages, for
Yes.
36 total.
I'm putting it in there.
I got you.
Too late. All right. So I see where we're going. So, all right, here we go. It is break time. Before we go on break, be thinking about anything else you want to do in Eberron. Otherwise, you guys will be blasting off to go fish and go see this mission for Sly, it sounds like.
Before we go on break, do we have any business with Vera or no?
You could go, her and Bree, you could go talk to if you wish, just to check in. You guys have had conversations with them, about doing work for them. You don't have to go talk to them. You're not waiting to get money from them. They're not waiting to hear from you. So yeah, if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's all. I didn't know if we
Speaking-
had loose ends.
Speaking of money, assuming we bring back half of the gray scavers dead and half of them alive, would make about $22.50 on that run, is what that math sort of equates out to. So, for whatever shits and giggles that is, that would
And
be
just-
enough to get us our ship. Second
just
ship. No, it would
people-
not be.
Be a little prepared. I want that to be something fun. I'm going to make it a skill challenge. So y'all be thinking about ways that you would help to capture these sharks. It is supposed to be a kind of a fun little thing. So be thinking ahead of time a little bit about what your characters may do to help catch all them. The other one, I don't know how that's going to turn out because it's scary. Anyway, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
See you too.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Today's break was brought to you by Beatbox. You guys shake your head at me, my box party punch. I know I'm a monster. I regret nothing. Okay,
Just
is there
waiting for
anything else you
next
guys?
week's buzz balls.
Buzzballs.
Y'all never heard of buzz balls? Oh man.
Is that something you drink?
Buzzballs?
You get buzzed?
No, I-
'Cause I'm about it.
I buzz my balls once a week. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Jesus. That's manscaping. Alright, go on. I will
Speaking of
pull
buzz
up
balls.
a picture.
I kind of love that term, man. Anyway,
Me.
this episode is not brought to you by Manscaper, although that might be a hilarious sponsor.
Look it up. Look it up.
You guys- Stop. We're not getting sponsored by the landscaping company. You guys, is there anything else you would like to? I need 3 seconds. This session is also brought to you guys by Viking Braids, a la me and Josh. Don't know if
It
you've
is-
seen them, but if not, We are Viking braided up today.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
also
almost
brought to you
there.
by
I'm almost there.
Nice.
It is also brought to you by margaritas from M.A.N.T.I.S, of which I had 4 before session. So
Oh
But
man,
good.
they make them strong AF.
They do. Hell
I
yeah.
was not. We went to Walmart after. I was not ready.
See, me, drunk as shit at Walmart, would be going looking for wine and buying a bunch of wine like a Nimrod. 15% by volume. I love it. I need some of those.
See, I've just got whiskey and coke.
Dude.
I spent too much
Why do
on
they call
magic
it
cards.
Tequila Rita? I see. You spent too much on magic cards. I don't like that it's called Tequila Rita because isn't tequila in all margaritas?
It should be, but
It
they
should
also have
be,
one
yeah.
called Strawberry Rita. So I guess this is like their, if you were to order a house margarita or just a margarita.
Well,
But
I've never
what's
seen
funny-
those, but they look delicious.
If you look at the Tequila Rita, the ingredients are tequila, vodka, and triple sec.
sec.
So
Oh.
that's why they get you so fucked, is they sneak this vodka in there.
2 shots of vodka.
I feel like
Couple
tequila.
shots of vodka.
I feel like tequila is
I
more
thought there was
legal
a
than
lemon
vodka.
drop. I
Well,
didn't
they're
know
all
it
the
was-
same. They're all the same alcohol percentage, but vodka can be like hidden. Tequila has that taste; it's harder to hide. But vodka, you just put something sweet in there, you don't know it's there. It's awful.
Right,
Fuck vodka, y'all. Tequila's better in
Yeah,
every way.
I don't like vodka anymore.
Tequila's delicious. Just thought y'all should know. Anyway,
That's it.
we come
Anything but
back to
Fireball on the
Spelljammer
table.
998. Fair. We come back to Spelljammer 998 because I could talk about liquor all night. I have a problem. You guys, is there anything else you guys would like to do in Sharn before you lift off for your first mission as Mantis? I've also been calling this map Mantis HQ. Feel free to rename your home if you wish. Otherwise, that's probably how I'll.
Deimos
Already
will.
better. I love it.
Deimos will at some point meet up with Sybil. Has no money to spend on ink or gold. To spend on ink, but he will take her on a date of some sort, to a museum or to some type of event.
I mean,
something or
you
another.
can
Just
pull some. You can pull some out of the party bag if you want.
Oh no, I won't do that. I have 15 gold and 4 silver, so it
15
only took us.
gold is plenty enough to take her, from a commoner's perspective, to take her on a very nice evening.
He's no commoner, sir.
I didn't know you had that McDonald's money.
No, I mean,
No,
15
motherfucker, we're
gold.
talking- We talking fucking
15
Zaxby's
gold
money.
is
We
more
talking
than-
fucking Jimmy John's money, motherfucker.
No. 15 gold would be. You could take her to Ruth Chris.
Black sheep.
Like
Nice.
black sheep. I hate the black sheep, but sure.
We
I love
we
that
got a
Brandon
new
knows that
restaurant. We got
too.
a new steakhouse.
Oh yeah, Grace.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's not good?
Well, I
Anyway,
haven't been there. Looks crazy pretentious. How much gold are you charging me for said date?
Stupid pretentious.
Or
Did you get the tomahawk or not?
for 5 gold, you take her on a very nice time on the town. 5 gold is more than most.
Excellent.
Most commoners would never see 5 gold in a lifetime. Most artisans, 5 gold is a massive amount. The wealth disparity in most D&D games is ridiculous. I know it may not feel like it to you guys, but you are filthy stick rich.
And we're sitting here haggling.
So,
I hear
so
that.
10 gold for that fair, or 7, or 5, you know.
You want me to spend my life savings on one health potion?
That's
See, most
fair,
people
though.
can never afford a health potion. All
For
right,
fucking
all right, Demos.
two-
Is there anything specific you would like to do on your date or mention,
Yeah,
or anything you'd like to
I'll-
ask her, or
I'll just bullshit most of this. No, we go for a rather
Okay.
nice meal, and we go out to the new opening at a local art museum. We check out all of the new pieces there. It is a surrealist exhibit, so it's rather off the wall. Things are just kind of wonky, kind of zony, and Deimos tries to those people like me who go abroad and then they bring it up in every other conversation. He does that, but oh, I saw something similar to this in Wild Space. Let me tell you about it, and regales her with tales of his adventures and blah 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 blah.
I like to think she receives it very well. There may be periods of eye rolling and slight
Oh,
exasperation.
I
with
would have it
your,
no other way.
Yeah, your granddaughter, but overall, she seems to enjoy, at the very least, enjoy you talking and enjoy you sharing your experiences with her. She is very responsive, asks you questions about things, has lots of questions about the comet and things like that. I like to think you guys walk by like this big floating statue of a murder comet, and Demos goes,
I blew one of those up and it almost killed half our party. My friend Zephyr lost his leg. I'll show you sometime. He's got a new one. It's all right. Don't worry.
you guys have a very romantic evening. There's not anything else you would like to add. I'll say the next day comes to the close. You guys spend most of the day. Speak now or forever hold your peace if you want to buy or learn anything else today before we go to the 12th. One, two.
You know
three.
the item I'm looking for, but if it's not there, it's not there.
I got you. I'm trying
No
to figure out
gold,
exactly
so no, I'm
how...
good.
Okay. Day passes. It is now the 12th of Larvon. Okay. If you guys don't have anything else you would like to do, you are free to take off on like. Speak now if you don't want to.
Let's go.
Perfect. You guys load up all of your all the equipment. You guys load up rations, things of that nature. These wasp ship only take 5 people to crew. Therefore, you are enough. But thankfully, as you guys get ready to lift off, you are A1 is brought aboard, and I'm assuming you guys put him at the helm, unless one of you would like to take the helm.
Not after what Deimos did last time.
Barrel roll right off the bat.
I want her hands free to do the dirty work, so.
That's fair. No,
Okay.
agreed.
A1 is put in the driver's seat, for lack of a better term, and he is almost so. I like to imagine for Demos, it was kind of shaky at first. He kind of before it, and it took him a minute or two to learn the barrel. A1 steak sauces is very. It is much more like some of the other rides you guys have had so far. He lifts off smoothly and climbs up out of the atmosphere from your rooftop landing as you guys ascend into wild space in your own ship. Congratulations, M.A.N.T.I.S. You guys have officially begun conducting operations.
Eat.
As you guys zip out into wild space and have become wild spacers proper with your own ship. Same achievement, I guess. I don't want to. Okay.
So
Right in the space chariot.
shut the fuck up.
Indeed. So what we're gonna do is, I will say,
Good.
for ease of access, that you can, in the month it takes you to get to Therendor, you guys can fish for gray scavers on the way.
We forgot to check to see if the rock is on the way. I imagine we would do before we lift.
That's what I was about to say. Is that you guys can assume? Yeah, you guys can assume that you can catch the scarvers on the way there or back, and that you will be passing by the rock at some point. So halfway through your journey there or halfway through your journey back, you will be brushing by the Rock of Bra. Close enough anyway that we don't need to add any more days. All right, well, let's see
Fish
here.
on the way back?
I was about to ask, do y'all want to fish now or on the way back? Or
I feel like on the way back, in case we do catch the big one, then we have to.
The
I have
big
a
one.
question. If we get a certain amount per catch, is it like an open bounty? What's stopping us from trying to catch them on the way out, dumping them for money, and then catch some more on the way back?
You could if you wanted. You'd have to pay you'd have to get them back. These would be hard to teleport. You have them in your cages. These smaller ones. The
But
big
they're due on the Rock of Brawl, not the.
That's
He's saying, could we drive since the Rock of Brawl is 2 weeks out, our destination is 4 weeks out, could we take the 2 weeks to catch some, drop them off, and then go to our next location, then come back on the 2 weeks return, try to catch another load of grays plus the night shark or night scabber?
I ain't gonna say no. That means, as you guys are traveling these next 2 weeks, if that is the plan, have you guys how would you guys like to go about the skill challenge of becoming space fishermen? I've waited months for this.
So we do bait the cages with something bloody. We might have bought a few nice goats.
I was about to say, it
Eberron.
wouldn't be hard to purchase livestock at y'all's wealth. And you guys do chum the cages with terrestrial livestock, which I would say pretty early on, maybe after day 3 or 4, once you're well out of planet space, bad term, they do begin to just float into the cages and feed. Which, of course, as soon as they hit the carcasses and smell the blood, you can see them immediately. Smaller, these are medium-sized prey scavers, so I guess they're about as big as you guys are. Soon as you can see them like dashing into the cages and just hitting the carcass. They go from rather calm to as you float past them, very frenzied. So I'll give you each advantage on whatever skill check you would like to attempt to facilitate this fishing trip.
Deimos will use Arcana for lightning lure, and any of them that get close or try to escape out of the cage, he's just going to lightning lure them back into the cages.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'll roll for Arcana with advantage. There. I'm not on the thing because we haven't rolled yet. Let me back up there. Oh, I will use Lucky to re-roll that. I keep the advantage, so I get to roll 2 more. Is that right?
I thought you were replacing a roll, so you're technically replacing your.
I'm not using Portent. I'm using Lucky.
Oh, yes. I believe so.
18?
Heard.
Also, I'm going to roll 2 20s for the Portent because this is technically a new long rest.
Yes, sir.
I'm not using either of these at the moment.
Heard.
Fantastic.
What about the rest of you? Do you guys have any ideas how you would help make sure you guys gather up enough?
I mean, shit, I was going to do the same thing that he just did.
Do it!
I was like, well, I mean, if I start blasting like behind them, I can spook them to not run off and kind of run towards said traps. That was my go for it.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check with advantage. I like to think you guys are doing mostly crowd control. Like, you guys are not so much bringing new ones in as preventing others from leaving the cages.
Damn, got me a nice 14, I guess.
Okay. Anybody else?
These are both cantrips, so we can do them as many times as necessary, thankfully.
I'm going to use my acrobatics to, I don't know, use a rope or a net, move the net along. I don't know if the cages move.
We do have the ropes of climbing, which technically would bring you up to something, but maybe if you anchor yourself right, we'll bring it to you.
Whatever we have.
I don't think they can pull things for like bear. Go ahead and roll your acrobatics check. I see. So, or would someone like to assist him with this?
I don't
I
get
will.
advantage.
The way that I was thinking of would be like using the ballista on top of it as like a harpoon, like we're whaling, kind of thing.
Nice.
See. 12.
Not non-fatal hits, obviously, but
No, I got you. What would we roll for that? So you could roll. What'd you roll for aiming stuff? It's always so different. Roll a sleight of hand check.
sleight of hand.
Could be several things. You could also roll like a straight dex check. But there we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Randy, did you have something? Because if you don't, I have an idea.
Well, I was originally going to use my acrobatics to do essentially that. I was going to help close the cages with it.
Let's go ahead and roll your acrobatics. I may narrate you doing something slightly different, depending on which.
Well, these great minds thinking alike tonight.
Yeah.
Boom,
Oh,
boom.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Echo and Randy. So I like to think that Randy comes up to Echo, and he may have involved Drix at first, but seeing Drix doing so well at the harpoon, he goes to Echo instead. And there's a brief conversation as Echo, you're filled in on something Randy has seen before. Randy tells you that once on his way to Eberron, saw a fishing ship do this, and you guys both you get one of the nets that is in the cargo hold. A large, maybe not a massive net, but what you guess would be a trawling net for a ship your size. And you guys each take a corner of the net and at Randy's direction, jump. You guys catapult yourselves up and out of the air, which causes you both immediately to begin floating. Randy warns you to hold your breath beforehand as the ship immediately continues forward and you guys begin to float backwards. You guys essentially synchronously open the net and sprawl it out behind the wall. And then use the ropes connecting the net to the wasp to pull yourselves back to the ship as this net spans out behind the ship. And then as you guys get back, you pull it back onto the ship.
I wonder if we could do this in a fight.
Speaking my language, brother.
I'll say y'all got plenty enough. Your scores were high enough. You got your success to have filled your cages.
36, heard.
Are they all alive?
We'll see here. I see one fail. I don't think they would all be alive, but for the purposes of doing calculations, we will say that they are.
Deimos at some point in this mad frenzy while he's snatching them out of the fucking wild space. All my means are sane, my motive and objective are mad. All mortal greatness is but disease. It's quoting Moby Dick, in case y'all didn't know.
That's what I was wondering.
Fill your lungs with blood and thunder.
My body is but less of my greater being.
Well, all right. Trapped forever in this dense symbolist tomb. You guys fill your cages. I'm going to assume you guys stop. Oh, you guys are going to try and teleport these back?
If we're on the way to Eberron, I suppose.
My hope was
You're all the way
that
to the rock.
for this,
Oh, wait.
we were going to drop them off.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
the
because
night
it stops
scab.
there. You're right,
The night
right.
scabber is the one we have to take back. All the others are on Eberron.
You're right.
or
You
on
guys
the
stop.
rock.
You guys stop at the Rock of Brawl. You go You go to the bartender, not innkeeper, the bartender at XTLTD, who sends a upper tier club member you guys are not familiar with you back to the ship. He sees the cargo you've brought, and after a short amount of time, some people come to help you guys bundle, restrain, and move these scavers back to XLTD. And there is a small amount of celebration among things of that nature. You guys gather. You guys will be the cause of quite a few scaver stakes and quite a few inns in the next couple of weeks. And you guys lift back up on your way. Joey, do you remember the number you said for gold for that?
Well, for 36 live ones, it's 2,700.
Thank you.
What does that put us up to?
Repeating, of course.
No, we're not dividing, not yet. What does that bring us up to if we account for the minus 800 from getting our equipment? Do we have 10,000? Because if so, I'd like to drop off for the summit. Okay.
I would have to punch it in my spreadsheet.
I think
you want to put in the order for that if you have it?
I think you said 73 earlier. We spent the 8.
We aren't there.
Plus this, we would not have 10,000. So yeah.
We'd be the supplies short 800 gold.
Yeah, like
I would go find Max and grab him and look at him like a crazy man and be like, get it ready. We're close. We're like this close, like 800 gold close. All right, I need you to get it for me.
Let me. Sorry, you going?
No. Yeah.
So please do.
No, I like to think I'm gonna have that goddamn fucking shit. Calm down, goddamn. Goddamn.
God dang on the fucking
spot you,
goddamn Shake Shark, goddamn motherfucker.
Yes. I'll spot you, goddamn fucking gold, man. I'll go talk to the goddamn Mercane, fucking crazy ass motherfuckers, goddamn shit. Want this fucking shit out of my hair, goddamn.
So we're gonna break the party bank and get a float from him to do it, but I don't care.
Yeah, so we're gonna assume you're only missing like 300 gold. From
I think we're
Max.
technically 800 short if my math is correct, but
the DM said 300. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fuck with the numbers.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fuck with the numbers while I'm prepping later this. I'm gonna subtract 10,000 gold for you guys because y'all really want that spell jamming helm, and We'll get that rolling for you guys.
What was the lead time on
10
that? Was it
kilograms.
2 weeks?
I don't think so. You can. He tells you that he should for sure have the ship ready by the time you return. If you were to tell him you'll be gone for another 2 weeks to a month.
Nice. So I'm trying to visualize our ship now. We have like cages lining the sides of the ship, essentially. Sick. As we're going back to the ship, I'm gonna look at the party, and be like, man, you know, something I just thought about. We could use this more than fish.
Your extracurricular activities must be much more fun than mine. I'm afraid I don't follow your lead there.
I'm just saying, you got any particularly troublesome individuals? Maybe somebody's looking for a specific person and they're going to be hard to maintain and keep up with. I think we could use them more than fish. It makes the ship look real cool either way. That's all I'm going to say.
Are the cages, are they in the air bubble or not?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I like to think they're hanging from the
Talking
bottom
about
of the ship.
waterboarding of a
So, like-
prisoner.
I didn't say nothing. You're talking now.
I feel like that's what Davos was getting at. Is it in
No.
here?
I was wondering if they would survive in it, but that's a very good point.
Yes,
We could do
no.
that.
No, you could
It's
use
like,
them in the same capacity as like the round things that the bottom drops out of them that they put people in to starve to death and be eaten by crows. You could use them in that capacity, I guess, but they are in the air bubble. I like to think they're dangling from the bottom of. So like they would be between the belly of the wasp and the ground if it were landed, but probably not touching the ground.
Listen, here's what I'm driving at. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Depending on what we find on this moon, maybe we got to kill a couple guys to get something handled, right? Maybe their bodies are useful. You know, the night scaver might like exotic meat, people meat. And if you're willing to put them in a cage,
The man has a point.
Okay, well, none of you are human. Okay. Really,
So
really into that. Okay.
Actually,
technically, none of us are really human. Maybe Echo. I don't even
That's what
know.
I-
He's a
that's what I
variant of
just-
some sort.
I think he's an elf, right?
Yeah, half elf, I think.
Half elf. Okay.
no way.
So,
The
well,
other half ain't human.
not
'Cause he's
gonna-
a heartless motherfucker.
I'm not
That
going to
ain't
stop
me.
you guys from using
Randy.
human corpses as bait.
I am. That ain't right.
I really don't see a problem with it. It's not like, it's not like they need it anymore. Like,
Hey,
I would
meat
in
is
character
meat,
say,
alright?
not cool, Randy. Not
hey, if they
Also,
tried to, they
I
would have
have-
used your body for bait if they killed you. All right, that's all. I honestly believe that in my heart of multiple hearts that I have as a Thracian.
Roman.
Well, in the
I
wise
know,
words
man.
of Cade, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Also, I have to ask Ben specifically this. You mentioned something during Storm King's Thunder where like they drop somebody at the front of the ship and they make them go underneath it. What is that
Keel
called
haul.
again? Keel haul. Yeah. It's essentially that. If we just throw them in the cages, if it's out of the oxygen, but it's not. We're good. They can breathe. So is it really that inhumane? Live bait is the most effective from what I
I
hear.
don't
That's
have
all
a
I'm
problem
saying.
with caging people. I'm not gonna deliberately take people onto the ship with the sole idea of providing sustenance for some creature.
We're talking corpses. They ain't gonna feel a thing.
Okay, well then we wouldn't need. All right, yeah, corpses. All right, that's fine.
That's all I'm saying. They're either gonna sit on the moon and rot, or they're gonna sit in the cage and rot, and we're gonna catch a big shark. I don't know what to tell you. It feels like a
If
waste.
they're already corpses, I'm cool with. I just don't like live bait.
Deimos is going to flip to a certain page in his journal. He's going to draw the line of ethical decisions that the party has made, and he's going to write Echo beside it. And like, corpses are okay, humans are not. Okay, make a note of that. Or live people are not. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Onward to our destination.
Let's go see that desert.
The
Everybody
moon
roll
of
a d20 for me,
Therodon.
please.
Ah,
Nope.
I knew it was
Everybody
coming.
roll a d20 for me, please.
Never. Oh boy.
None of us roll well.
Do you want me to roll one for
Oh.
Goob?
That's a good point.
You don't have to.
Ah!
Oh, tricks.
Yeah, tricks.
Is that good? I don't know.
The shot says maybe not.
It depends on how you consider good.
That's the number of enemies we have. So no, it's not.
Depends on your just depends. Drix, can you roll another? Oh, why did you do this? What is wrong with you? I know this should go to the right link. What the
This
fuck?
just sounds like Wheel or Woe with extra
You suck
steps.
my dick, ho. It is Willow Roll Leather Steps. Drix, can you roll a D100?
Oh, okay.
I
95.
like the sound of that.
95.
Oh, that's really high.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Don't say it's interesting, Devin.
It's a little interesting.
Oh,
Okay. I have to roll something. I apologize.
You remember those murder comments? Well, now we got murder planets. Good luck.
We got 95
Six,
of them.
yeah, 6 murder comments drop out of this. Okay. This kind of makes sense though. Oh, that's funny. That's the one I was looking.
Is it? Is it funny?
Okay. You guys, on your journey to Therendor, you do eventually, one of you, I imagine, periodically, you don't have any crew to put in the crow's nest. One of you, at some point during your journey, spot a ship, another Spelljammer, on your way to Therendor, another large hammerhead ship. You guys are already familiar with kind of what they look like. This one also a kind of black and blue scheme, like Thor's ship you saw earlier, mostly black with blue, maybe some blue and crimson highlights. But for the most part, it seems to. It doesn't turn immediately towards you. You guys can tell by some flurry of activity on the ship. You guys probably have been sighted. But at this moment, they don't bear towards you guys. Yeah, I would like to think that by the time you guys see it in space, you guys are a fair chunk of distance away.
Does it seem to be a merchant vessel or a military vessel, or do we have any idea of what flag it flies?
So I would say at this point, you guys are aware that government-owned ships, merchant-owned ships, or pretty much any ship conducting business or owned by an organization flies flags to represent it as such. Groups like you guys probably don't have flags, don't belong to a specific organization. This is another ship that seems to be privately owned. It doesn't seem to belong to it doesn't seem to have any country, organization, or anything like that it's affiliated with. So the best you guys could understand it is probably a group of adventurers, mercenaries, creatures like I guess y'all haven't seen one yet.
Deimos will tell Steak Sauce to adjust his course just to keep a distance, and we'll keep an eye on them. We'll confer with the group. I don't see any reason to make a boarding party.
No, we got places to be. I don't really feel like dealing with that right now, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Those of you with a little bit of range, I wouldn't mind if y'all spent a little time on that side of the ship. Is that port or starboard? Is it the same in space?
Depends if you barrel roll.
At the distance you guys are at, it doesn't matter so much. Like they're probably far enough away that they would have to go to one side of the ship or the other. But I almost envision them having to go to the front of the ship because they are so far away.
So we can avert them without getting too close.
Yeah, you guys aren't within. Y'all aren't within such a range that like you're gonna run into them or you have to engage them or anything.
As time goes on with us diverting them, do we see them approaching? Do they seem to be making an effort to get closer?
They do not.
All right. I think we mosey about our fucking way.
Yeah.
Mind our own goddamn business.
Without too much difficulty, you all managed to slip by.
Oh,
this
wait.
hammerhead ship.
I'm so sorry. I have one more very important thing. At some point, like Deimos, like it seems they're getting closer at any point, Deimos grabs like Zephyr by the leg and holds his foot up like a gun, just to like ready to go, like thigh here, calf here, just like fucking ready. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
You cock the calf muscle.
That wasn't a calf muscle.
A somewhat tense section of time where both of the ships are as close as they're gonna get as you guys are passing by each other. Not within 30 feet or anything like that, but there does come a time where you guys are, as you're passing each other, where you're as close as you're gonna get on your way through, and you guys can see people moving around on the ship. Maybe not make out details or anything. But there is a little bit of a flurry. You guys see a little bit of magic happen on the deck, and the ship passes on by you guys.
I want to sit on the railing on the side that we're passing by the way, just sort of kicking my feet like I was sitting in a really high chair. Just like wave.
2 arms,
Oh,
just
boy.
wave.
You guys do manage to slip on past unmolested. That might not have been a fun fight for y'all to pick. I'm not going to say much more than that.
Not enough reason to use the word unmolested.
Thanks a lot, 95.
95.
That D1.
The dice roll.
Oh, well, not so. The 95 was a spelljamming ship. I had to roll to see the ship and the crew. The crew for that particular roll. Let's just say we might have spent the whole next session in that fight.
Good call, Randy.
Other adventurers, yeah, that could be pretty dangerous.
Well, it wasn't.
Also, Echo,
yeah.
fantastic point. We do need a Mantis emblem or something for our ship.
Before you wrote that, I was gonna make a joke that I had, because you were like, we don't have a flag. My butt. I hastily scribble like a bug person with some swords on a little white sheet, try to hang it off the back of the ship.
It's a Thry-Crane
I actually already
I don't
made
know.
one in like an AI prompt.
I half assumed you just wanted to trail corpses as our flag.
God, lay off it.
That has some sexy appeal, Echo. I do admire your mindset.
Hey, now before you
Did we
talk
lose
too much.
Devin? Oh no, there he is.
Yeah, he left for just a second. I don't know why.
At the wrong button.
No, he's just down there. He's fine.
Before you talk too much garbage, I think our friend Zephyr might be into that kind of thing. I don't know. He seems kind of broody. He seems kind of dark. Maybe he wants to be surrounded by graveyards and corpses. I don't know. I'm trying to be accommodating.
He did have that foot that just appeared out of nowhere.
You know, just casually hanging out with dead things. No biggie.
Speaking of, can I ask, on our long 2-week journey, what the fuck is up with that? Where the fuck did that come from? Your foot.
My foot? You know,
Yeah.
your gift is as good as mine. It just, you know,
So
I was
you-
asleep, I wake up, and now I'm shooting people with my kneecaps.
Yeah, but when Sly gave us the ship, at least he talked to us about it, wine and dined us.
Yeah, right.
Someone just gave you a foot?
Yeah, someone just gave me a foot, okay?
I told you about
Zephyr,
my
I have a
fungus.
I have a question for you. You know, I'm sorry if this is too personal. You know, I went to I attended schooling for quite a while to obtain my magical prowess. Did you learn from a certain institution?
You know, it just kind of came naturally for me, I guess.
Naturally.
Happened, you know.
Did
Maybe
you
I'm
have
just
some
that
sort of
good.
Did you have some sort of contacts? Do you have somebody in your family who's magically inclined? Did you come to speak with something that might have bestowed such things upon you?
Man, I feel like you awfully nosy, my friend.
I am very nosy. That is my most defining character trait.
Hey,
Echo, the
I just like
fedora.
to know who I'm working with.
I mean, I'm not really at liberty to say. I guess we'd call it a non-disclosure agreement.
I was about to ask if you sent an NDA. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I absolutely signed a little warlock NDA.
Standard practice.
You know, it's just,
Oh my
it's
God, I'm
just how we
literally
do
crying.
things.
You guys spend the next couple of days after passing by this ship, grilling Zephyr about where the fuck his new foot came from. and don't seem to get any satisfactory answers. As you guys make your way to the planet of Therendor. So I like to imagine most of these planets have at least some biodiversity. So not every planet will, most of the planets are not going to be like, this isn't a desert planet. But where you guys end up going on the planet is definitely a very large desert. You do see the desert from space as you guys approach the atmosphere and sink on down lower into a desert landscape to where you can only mostly see desert, if that makes sense, once you get close enough to the that part of the planet. You guys, my brain broke on me, y'all. I ran out of alcohol like a robot from Futurama. If I run out of alcohol, my brain just... So, you guys descend. A1 brings you down into the atmosphere, and you guys actually glimpse from up top. This is like well into the stratosphere before you guys have begun to really enter the planet's atmosphere itself. You can actually see this very small blip of this bluish spectral light and a massive sandstorm surrounding it. After a small amount of time more, you guys are led deeper down to the planet, and by the time you approach, it seems as if this storm has subsided. You guys see a bleached desert stretches out beneath your ship, long forgotten or perhaps never discovered. Your Spelljammer races over the surface dotted with stones and large cacti. Eventually, A1 arcs the ship towards a cluster of massive crystalline stalagmites jutting out from a patch of desert, strowing prismatic colors across the sand and sky. You guys can see from a distance that there are these large, think of like cliffs made of gems, made of crystalline stalactites, that again are throwing these kind of rainbows across the desert. You can see from the distance this dome of magical energy. And A1 sets you guys down 200 or 300 feet away, maybe. Far enough away that you guys don't have to worry about anything rushing out of it, but close enough you can see it in the distance. Now's your last chance to collect any of your gear from the ship or prepare yourselves in any way before you don't have to make any checks to cross the desert, but you are going to have to take a little bit of a hike to get there.
Who is holding
All
our
right.
bag of holding again?
You don't have a bag of holding.
Oh, sorry, we have the bot of holding. In the party inventory, I assume we take at least one drift lobe, one rope of climbing, the shadow globe, both hats of disguise, the arcane necklace, the rod of warning, one of each of the spell scrolls. Do any of y'all want the other wands of magic missile? Because we have 2 of those on board, and I already have one.
I mean, I'll take one.
I'll take
Yeah.
one.
Add those to your inventory. Wand of magic missile. Very fun. Would recommend. Boom boom stick, go boom boom.
Can I spin them again?
Well,
I
that's
like them.
something to liven up the Eldritch blasting.
Do we have a lesser invisibility scroll available to take?
There's still one available, correct?
I'll do that one.
And also, you explained that the shadow globe had 5 charges. Is that like
Yeah,
for the
so-
life of it, or do they reset?
They do reset. You should be able to put it in. I hope you guys can see Shadow Globe if you punch it in D&D Beyond. I know I made the items, but I may have to do something to make it where you can see them. It is 5 charges. It is 1 to cast Darkness and 2 to cast, maybe 3 to cast Pass Without Trace, but I think it's 2. We will get that figured out. Throughout the week, I will add that to some of your character sheets. Probably multiple, since you guys are sharing these items. But I will go ahead and say, for the sake of tonight, that you don't need to worry too much about them. They won't be entirely useful for this particular mission. A lot of this gear you guys were given is to help you guys do the shit y'all are getting into, breaking into crime scenes and all that fun stuff.
Cool.
So I got to make sure my beer is in order.
All
So
right.
her
Quick question.
heard. What's
With the wand of magic missiles, since it is just a wand, can I keep it equipped in one of my tiny arms, even though I have my
I
glaive?
believe so. I believe so.
That would be
I
cool.
love that.
Okay, cool, awesome. Also,
I
specific.
can't imagine it weighs enough that you can't, because like it says you can keep light weapons. It's just a wand.
Hell yeah.
Drix always got that mo fucking thing on him. You know that.
You know it.
That's
Also, Drix originally comes from a desert area. Like his tribe hunted in like the desert and grasslands. So when we arrived here, he kind of shifts his carapace into like a dark beige color to blend
Yeah.
into the sand.
I remember
Love
that,
it.
and I was actually going to ask you as part of like what we're doing. Actually, let's go ahead and do it now. If I remember correctly, you're from a sandy spot. Anything sticking out to you? Anything you think we should know? I'm not really used to traversing desert areas.
Well, the biggest thing I can tell you is that you must stride without rhythm, for it attracts the worms. Other than that, we're set. We just got to deal with hazardous creatures, things like that.
stride without rhythm.
Is that a
Damos
Tremors
immediately hands out.
reference?
It's a Dune reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Demos will provide the party with several bottles of alcohol. Just to, this helps you sort of stagger a little bit, throw off your gait. God,
I'm gonna go ahead and
these
move you
margaritas are brought to you
guys.
by
I feel like my game's
Manzanillo.
already a little awkward anyway, so like I'm set.
I'm assuming
Cool.
you guys approach the ruin site. Please speak now or forever hold your peace.
Wait, we brought the
Would
the
we
rod,
like to
right?
I
Yes.
brought a rod. Wink, wink.
Damn.
It's the most Zephyr thing I've ever heard.
It's funny with Barbara, the only female, saying it. I don't know why. Would you like to pop that globe of Pass Without a Trace as we approach, or no? We've only got.
Yeah.
You said 2 charges, so I assume we have 2 uses per orb.
Well, there's only one of the drift globes. I'm pretty sure
Not
that it's
not drift globe, shadow globe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, shadow globes. I'm sorry, that's my fault.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's 5.
So 5
And
charges.
it casts 2 for Pass Without Trace.
Yeah. So we have 2 per right now. We could use one now. Maybe do some reconnaissance. Maybe use one later if we need to.
And because they
I assume that
reset,
resets on a
totally.
dawn or.
Yes, a dawn.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I said, I'll have to find the items. I didn't get a lot of stuff ready because I wasn't fucking sure what y'all were gonna do because the session was so wide open. So I will make sure y'all get those items put on your character sheet next week and all that fun stuff.
Also, I didn't realize you gave me that item. I mean, that's cool. I'm down to take it.
Which item?
The shadow globe.
Yeah, it's it should be searchable. You should be able to find it if you want to put it on there. I'm revealing some of this map so that y'all can see it, and then I will put
We
y'all on
are
it.
still on the Dragonfly or the Wasp map, if that helps you.
Yes, I know. I'm getting ready to move. Welcome to the first map I ever made. It's garbage.
It's all black. You did great.
Half of it should be on black by now.
Let me zoom out.
It's just like home.
What white sand? I hear these beaches are more expensive.
Really.
All right,
Definitely
Drix turns white then instead of beige.
hurt. So that little line, that circle, that blue circle is the dome. I know it's kind of hard to tell because I had no fucking clue what I was doing and still don't about maps and stuff. These little walls are supposed to be ruins buried in the sand. The red thing is a cactus. This is a rock. Come on, let me ping so I can explain to them what all this shitty stuff is.
It's a nice boulder.
It is a nice boulder.
That's
It's
a
not
nice
just a
boulder.
boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
The pioneers drove these babies for miles. This is also a cactus. There's a rock.
You're a cactus.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I aspire.
Is
to
that
be a
Megan?
cactus. Yeah,
Was that Megan who
spoke
said it's a nice
SpongeBob.
boulder? Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah. We watched way too much SpongeBob this week. It's been bad. It's been real bad, y'all. SpongeBob is embedded into the psyche of our entire generation, and it's a problem.
Yeah, my kids started watching it a while ago, so I kind of got a refresher course.
It's a problem.
Atticus-
It affects the way that we think as a generation. It's
It
unfortunate.
really does.
Atticus doesn't even watch it, and he said jumping jellyfish the other day, and I almost shit a brick. I'm like, how did you know that?
It is pervasive.
Carter
It is a
sauce.
cult. SpongeBob is the widest cult of our entire generation. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
I really hate like
Or widest.
widest. It is ridiculous. Like, I'm not kidding. Like I'm not making a joke when I say it's embedded in the architecture of our generation, the psyche of our generation. It has irrevocably changed us as a generation. It's just fucking.
24.
Yes, I am not kidding. You grow up watching SpongeBob, you get fucked up. SpongeBob is fucked up in so many ways. It's bad. SpongeBob makes me itch in the best and worst way. Thanks, I don't like it. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, y'all. I'll be writing a dissertation about the psychological impacts of SpongeBob when I get my doctorate, and Joey will have to call me professor. Otherwise,
Professor Krabs.
as long as someone calls
No, this is
Professor.
Patrick.
Professor Farnsworth is the goal, even if it's a SpongeBob dissertation. How would you guys like to approach this here ruin site?
Poke it with a stick.
Stealthily?
Yeah, I'm gonna stealthily slither in and kind of scout out the area.
Let's blow the pass
Zephyr's
without
definitely
trace
gonna
on
complain
this.
about the arid
Okay.
conditions.
Okay, so you spend 2 charges of your shadow globe. I'll mark those off when I put it on your character sheet, Randy. Devin, don't forget.
I do also
Uh,
really
Ideally, I
dig
wanna roll
that,
for
and
stealth.
I added the description for this bit in the chat because I thought it was really cool. And that instead of it being like a spell that I activate, the globe activates it and like hovers in the air and follows you. And I think that's important because if something crazy happens to me or somebody else, like you don't have to attune to it. It doesn't look like that. Somebody else can just grab it if they need to.
Where'd you put this?
I threw it
In chat.
in the chat
In roll 20.
in roll 20.
Bring it
Oh.
around.
I'm sorry, I don't have the roll. I don't have the roll 20 chat pulled up because it's
So it has the able to be stolen feature.
Something like that. I think maybe it sticks to the person who summoned it unless something wild happens. That's the one thing I don't know.
You know, maybe because we were just talking about SpongeBob, but I imagine it kind of has like a jellyfish type appearance, just floating next to you.
This says 1 charge. So Did you find that item? Does it have 5 charges or
It
3?
doesn't. It actually just says that's the confusing thing. So you can expend 2 charges to do the darkness spell. The problem is that it only shows 1 charge is available on the item, like when you actually have it selected to use.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to do all this D&D Beyond special item shit, so I'll take a look at that and see what I can do.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
Heard? Okay. So you all get +10 to your stealth checks. Please make stealth checks as you guys approach the side of the ruins.
Yes, sir.
I guess you can technically see
+10?
through that little dome, so I'm going to unveil the rest of this for you.
Yeah, I just turned it on.
18.
19.
Plus
Okay,
two,
yeah.
Just
right?
rolling good when we didn't
Yeah,
need it.
these
at
are
all.
all +10.
Technically, Goobs.
That's the
would-
best
Yeah.
rolls we've had all campaign.
18,
It's a brute,
27,
sure.
28, 29, 30.
I'm going to assume the
Wow.
Gatling gun is a problem. It's
That is very difficult to see from y'all's perspective. Y'all are coming from the direction Echo is in. You can tell there is a lot of broken glass and rubble and debris. There seems to be a pedestal and something sitting upon it. It is very difficult to tell what may be on the pedestal through the kind of haze of the magical barrier. And I'll imagine you guys make it up to about as close as your tokens are sitting now with your stealth checks. Nothing stirs. Nothing attacks you. What is your passive perception? Don't answer that. I'll look. Is there anything specific you guys would like to do while I'm taking a crack at that?
a 13.
Looking around for enemies, looking around for threats.
11 on the
Make-
PP.
Make a perception check, please, Bricks.
Hold on.
Since you said specifically, so my dad says specifically, you're looking for
Ooh.
enemies.
21.
1.
Get the fuck
Drix.
on, dude.
You see lying in against the rubble of like the buildings and stuff. Oh, I can't ping. You do see laying around you along the edges of the barrier, you see what appear to be some rather old and mostly buried carcasses. And I like to imagine Drix even kind of walks over and uses his Githka to knock a little bit of sand off, and it doesn't take you long to realize they are carcasses of the forged you fought underneath the Rock of Brawl. You eventually uncover one of the face plates, the helmets of one of these large metal rusted automatons. These obviously dead. These have obviously been here for a hot minute. Much more rusted than the ones you encountered. Oh, 1 second. The other thing that you see, Drex, with a 21, being accustomed to viewing the desert, being at home in the desert, you see off in the distance among the dunes a few silhouettes.
Ooh.
Large and very similar to the carcasses that you have discovered.
Question: where are we seeing these carcasses? Are they at the edge of the barrier, or
They are. I would like to imagine they're either up against this wall here, which I didn't mean to move, or just kind of, there may be a couple, but they are definitely on this side of the barrier, closest to you guys.
That top wall,
and this?
would it go higher than this thing on a pedestal? Or could we hide behind it?
I would think it would be higher than the thing on the pedestal. It would be difficult to get to the wall because this little barrier is in the way.
Right.
You need to go to the map layer barrier.
There we go.
But it
Two
would be a
questions.
source of cover.
For
I'm assuming
that side, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to find some kind of cover. Yeah.
Until we
Now,
can find a way to
Questions.
Put a
penetrate the egg.
direction. Just to put a direction on it, I like to imagine, Drix, you see those silhouettes way off in the distance in this direction.
Okay, so not that
Oh.
way.
I send like I'm gonna telepathically message that to the rest of the party.
And I would say with your experience in deserts, they are pretty long ways away. They're very small. You can just see them because it's flat and there are no features, really. It's a desert. Your 2 questions, Demos?
Well, one question now, because the first question was where the silhouettes are. Second question: this purple crystal, it looks like part of it is exuding outside of the barrier. Assuming that we might be taking some type of cover behind this lower barrier, do I recognize anything about this crystal? Does it seem arcane in nature? Does it seem
Make you roll a check. It does not. It seems to be a natural feature of the desert. You gather either
Cool.
from lightning striking there or just from the heat and the intensity of the environment having created these. It does seem to be a natural structure.
we see the turret, for lack of a better word, inside? The big red
You
thing?
see something. You see something. So I'm telling you guys to make it a little easier that it's a pedestal and something on it. It might be harder to tell from your character's perspective. Something is about chest height, and something else seems attached to that that's a little taller than chest height. It's a little blurry to see through the thing.
Is that an accurate 60 foot? Or is it?
It is. You can consider
Okay.
the rulers accurate since we don't have grids.
Yeah, it's about 6 feet. Yeah.
I just want to make sure to remind the party. I'm like it. I remember it. He said that not much can pass through this thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not touching it, but it sounds like magic, flesh, metal. Nothing they tried moved through it. I don't know if you guys have any kind of wise ideas or anything crazy you want to try, but I'm not super keen to try and stick anything through there just yet.
We're definitely not leading with a foot, but I could try shooting an arrow.
If wood and metal pass through it, that's not a bad idea. Well, we know metal won't. Can you shoot a tipless arrow?
He said warforged initially, and they can be made of wood. I'm assuming the
no,
arrow won't
technically-
make it through.
If you shoot an arrow,
technically,
Echo,
text
it
has
does
written they are
shatter.
wooden.
It does
The arrow
shatter.
shatters.
It does shatter against the shield. Yes, against the barrier.
Does the shield like let off like a circle of light, and does anything happen with that pedestal?
Nothing inside that you can tell nothing inside changes. There is probably like a wave of energy where the arrow lands, but the pedestal doesn't change. Whatever's sitting on top of it doesn't change. And as far as you can tell, there's not any change inside. Unless... Make a perception check, Echo.
And also, I was thinking like, hey, can one of you Spelly boys maybe, try and see if there's something super magic about this thing?
When you what?
Sick
Echo.
fucking roll. I was gonna ask.
When you watch as there's a ding, the arrow shatters. There's a ripple effect across the thingamabob. Oh wow, there was a little granddaddy on my leg. You better be a granddaddy or I'm gonna kill you. It's that granddaddy I saw earlier. Anyway, sorry.
You mean like
We
a
don't
daddy
kill-
long legs?
Yeah, we don't kill certain things
No,
in this
he
house.
means his literal grandfather, his great grandfather.
Harvestman spiders, as I like to call them.
If
We
you
don't
squish
kill-
one, it makes it rain.
Yeah, we don't kill certain things in this
Don't
house.
do that.
We try to be druidic as possible. So you see, after this arrow breaks, maybe not immediately, but within a second or two, movement inside of the barrier.
Mm.
What do you?
And Kid-
Boiling, winding movement of something larger than yourself.
Like
Huh.
towards
can
that pedestal?
Deimos?
Your rod of warning begins to scream.
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Can Deimos
Cover.
slash
I yelled, "Take cover!" I'm running.
Deimos?
let me-
Deimos asks Goob, "Hey, those people over there in the northeast, they appear to be approaching closer." Deimos and Goob would like to make a perception check, mostly because Goob's perception is going to be a lot higher than mine is. Randy, do you still have that up?
Yeah. Let's roll.
God bless you. You're an angel.
And rolled a 10. Hey.
15?
They
Like I
seem
said.
to be a very long ways away. Like I said, this is.
But are they
Just-
getting closer? Are they getting further away?
15? They don't seem to be moving with purpose. The best Demos can tell, they seem to be looking. Meaning they don't know exactly where the site is at this moment.
Interesting. Okay.
I have a couple of
Randy's-
questions or
With
thoughts.
with those perception checks, do we see any additional information inside the dome?
The pedestal is moving, and Randy's
first off,
rod is shooting
Yeah.
red.
I want to know if I can make the rod be quiet, because I feel like that alerts to people to our
Sure.
position. That makes me uncomfortable.
Sure.
Second, I think we should get like behind these walls. Like you see how like this corner is sort of covered from 2/3 of vantage points and nothing can go through the barrier. I want to freaking scoot right there.
Actually,
I don't know
I'm
what
afraid.
you're talking about. I'm already there.
I'm afraid you're all going to need to roll initiative
Negative, Ghost Rider.
to see if you guys scramble for cover in time.
All right. Well, I have the rod, so I'm gonna wait. Do I get advantage? Am I the one holding the rod?
I don't think it matters. You all
I
get
said
advantage, right?
I feel like it's in your back pocket.
I think it's just the person who picked up the rod, which is that's why earlier I was like, if nobody's opposed, I want to pick up the rod and keep it on my person.
Wow.
Oh gosh, Zephyr.
Let me double check. I think it's all of you.
Okay, what is
Zephyr's foot gets stuck, gets stuck
I
in the
swear,
sand like
she's got like.
he's not-
Yeah, no, I do imagine my foot
Goob.
has been getting stuck in the sand.
It is just you,
Oh.
Randy.
2 nat 1s for an
Wow.
Team, look at us.
What a
Except
wonderful
yours
roll for our final combat.
All right,
I think-
Zephyr and
I think Drix
Goob.
just blends in with the sand. He doesn't need to hide.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry up this
Man.
too.
Yeah,
Screw
I
this.
I just
Man, I
crouched
really-
down real low.
I'm real sad because I don't know that I want to have this encounter without Hayden, but this is going to be
It'll
fun.
only be for 10 minutes.
I was about to ask how late y'all wanted to stay up.
I mean,
It doesn't matter to me.
going, but
I'm
3
down as
o'clock.
late as. And that's 4 o'clock our time. So that's
It sounds like
Okay,
y'all are.
2
At
o'clock.
least started.
It sounds like y'all are willing to go later. Let me go. All right, friends, and enemies, and oh, my bobby pins really itch.
And we're back.
And we're back. Welcome
a
as we all play
Viking thing to
D&D in our underwears. Is it though? That tickled me.
And
I'm
you just
sorry.
got
Right
you just
after
got
I
over the
pillage
voice
this village, I gotta take these things out. They're starting to itch.
Hate you all. I'm too drunk for this. I'm having a great
I
time.
hope Valhalla doesn't have bobby pins, that's for sure.
It for sure doesn't. You're absolutely right. One day,
Magically
one day,
stays in
I'll
place.
be worthy of the metal Viking. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there.
Had the local
Braid. I'm
blacksmith
gonna play backwards for the
forge
rest of the
these.
night. There you go.
That's pretty
Gonna
sick,
play
no lie.
backwards. His braid looks great. I love it.
It's epic.
Megan worked very hard on mine. I'm very thankful because I cannot braid shit, y'all. Not good at
That's
it. I
it.
tried.
Most
Top of the round,
men.
Drix and Echo, you're on deck. But first, some shit happens. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize.
Why did it roll
I
a
had
dot
all
three?
these-
Sorry.
Who did roll? Yeah, something rolled really well, and it's this particular thing you're about to find out. You guys watch as Echo warns you guys as a flurry of movement. So this is what I like to imagine all of you see. Echo draws his bow back. It breaks upon the shield, upon the barrier. A flurry of movement begins behind the barrier. Your rod of warning begins to scream in alarm at all of you as a swarm of snakes, both rotted and entirely skeleton in some cases, come swarming out of the barrier.
Zephyr just has a panic attack and vomits on sight.
The only people they can reach immediately is Drix. Drix, they can inhabit your space. Is that correct? This is a swarm, right? Drix,
So they did
you
come
are-
through the barrier. They didn't go
They
underneath.
did pass through
Right.
the barrier. Drix, you are, unfortunately, again, for the second time in 2 sessions, swarmed as this swarm of undead snakes runs up your body and immediately begins to do the same as the other swarm did. It's going to attempt to sink its teeth into you. Why won't you show me the attack? Sorry, it's been real slow. It should pop up any minute. Does a 19 hit?
You know it does.
Okay.
Why do you
I don't know for sure it does. I have to ask because 17 to 20 is still within range for you guys, so I have to ask.
Yeah, true.
I don't think.
No, I'm 16.
I was gonna say I don't think a 19 misses anybody in the party.
I think the highest one we have is a 16. No, actually, just kidding. Goop has it.
Brandon technically has already purchased a +1 weapon, so one of you could have 19 if you really wanted.
+1 weapons
I
don't
see
add
what
to your
you're
AC.
saying, Plus
No,
one
he's
shield.
saying that the
One
ability
of
to
you
buy
could've
something
bought-
+1.
Yeah, one of you could have bought something +1 that gives you get what I'm saying. But I like to ask. I should, since you guys can't see the roll, I should say them out loud. So I'm trying to make a habit of that. You take 7 piercing damage, Drix, and then you make a DC, make a con save for me, please.
A con save.
He was about to drop the DC and everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
God damn it.
I apologize.
I'm guessing it wasn't a DC 5.
Oh, it was not a DC 5. Let me double check that this is correct. Yikes.
I will. Hey, it's because I see that. I will
Do you want
change
me to
that
tell
to
you how much? Oh, okay, go ahead.
I will change that to a 13 to make it a total of 17.
That passes. So you take half as much damage. So we're going to round that down. You take 8 poison damage along with that slashing damage as this swarm of undead snake swarms you. And it's now your turn.
Venom just
Thanks,
flying everywhere.
Yeah, you do feel these snakes seem much faster than the Neogi that swarmed you previously a couple of days ago, and you feel a couple sink into the spots in your carapace that are weakened or that are vulnerable. Drix, you're up. Echo, you're up.
Gross.
The spirit of Sam Jackson
Alright.
shudders.
All right, so is it like the previous one to where it's not like on me, but it's just in my space? Or will it
Yes.
follow me if I do?
Raw, for those who don't know, raw means like rules as written. It just inhabits your space. You're not grappled or anything like that.
Right.
All right, cool. If that's the case, I'm gonna kind of sidestep a little bit.
Okay.
See here. Actually, I'd say I'm over here. And then my free secondary arm that's not holding the wand of magic missile is going to glow this strange purple color and shoot a cloud of fucking poison spores at the snakes.
DC 12 Constitution save.
Cordo chimes in. He's like, "I hate snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?"
Oh, less conditions. Oh, damage. Oh. Okay. They rolled very well on a con save. To be honest, it rolled a nat 20.
Wow.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you notice as you blast them with Cordo's spores that it does not have any effect.
Damage is that poison? Oh fuck, they're immune to poison.
Boy.
Oh fuck! I didn't think of that. Oh.
Either they're immune to poison or they pass the save and. Well, I can
Both.
ask Drix. Drix does okay. I was gonna say okay. I was gonna ask if it did half on pass or not, but it seems like it doesn't matter. Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Gross.
This particular instance, it does not have any effect.
All right. Well,
Interesting.
I guess that's my bonus action. I'm gonna sling my magic missile with the other
Is it-
secondary arm.
Does it take an action to use that?
Ooh,
that
let's see. Let's see.
For the wand, I think it is like it's that you cast the magic missile spell, so I think it's the same as the magic missile, which is an action, but you can cast it at any level you want.
It would be kind of broken
Oh,
if you could,
up to-
because if you treat it like a weapon, you could do a bonus action attack, but because it's technically, I think, treated as a
Yeah.
spell, you can't. I don't know.
While you're holding
Well,
you can use an action.
I do have 2 first level spell slots, so
Well, the missile, the wand allows anybody, regardless of spell slots, to use it, but it takes an action to expend its charge.
okay, yeah, whatever.
But you could bonus action
I'm so
swing on
tiny.
it if you wanted, right?
I could, yeah.
You
I could try to swing on it.
could use your
Yeah.
he could use his bonus action strike.
Mm.
His bottom end of his, I don't remember what it's called. His polearm master
Polearm.
bonus action.
That isn't.
Dude,
You said use
my-
this blunt.
oh my god. My bonus action polearm always gets 4.
Yeah, we had a conversation
It
about this
always rolls
last
4,
week.
bro.
It's always 4.
It does. You roll just a
I hate it.
D20 and add the
I'm-
modifier?
I'm
+2?
real
I hate
sketched
it.
up.
Didn't he roll it a bunch of times though, and it ended up not being a 4?
It did, but
Not
like
always,
that's another
but more
4.
often than not, like 4
when it was a
disproportionately
4.
shows up among the 20 results.
Why does the curse move from people? It should all be over.
Well, the thing is, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, if it was a curse, he would
But it was-
roll like a 1 or a 6 or like other garbage, but a 4 every time does not make any sense.
Ben rolled
Well,
D20. Roll a
Some
flat
races have
D20.
abilities.
The plain
Some
D20.
races have abilities
Yeah,
that let you
just roll
reroll
it.
ones.
See, yeah,
So
yeah,
roll-
nat 20.
Roll your damage for your bonus attack.
Fuck yeah, let's fucking bullshit. 4.
That's 8 damage. Good 4. That's 8 damage. Unfortunately, does not have quite the effect you were hoping,
Oh,
since
come
it is
on.
a swarm of
Is that-
small creatures.
That's bludgeoning
oh,
damage. Oh, swarms, yeah. Yeah,
I had a
swarms
question.
are assholes.
that
If
was
I, since Cordo shot those spores out, would those spores be able to drift through the barrier, or does the barrier stop the spores from spreading?
Oh my god, the tension.
Are they Cordo's spores specifically? Are you thinking of this like Cordo sends some of his spores out?
No,
Or
just when he does
Or
the
like
when he did the spray and they just kind of drift. Does it like block it or what?
I will say probably
Mm-hmm.
I would say they probably do kind of split when they hit the shield, from the idea of like if someone were to throw a firebolt at the barrier, it would bounce off of it. So I think this is kind of the same thing. The poisonous, noxious part of the fumes kind of dissipate around it.
All right, had to ask.
I think it's fair. You guys will get a little more. Echo, you're up. Randy, you're on deck. Emos, you're after an enemy.
All right, I'm going to move
Infinity.
30 feet over this way, and I'm going to fire an arrow at this storm. Does an 18 hit?
You do.
Say, I hope so.
For 12 piercing damage.
Again, your damage doesn't do quite as much as you were hoping it does. You do strike several of the snakes and not knock them off Drick since they're no longer in his space. But you do a chunk of damage to them, but not quite as much as you were hoping.
And I would like to bonus action try to manifest Echo inside of this barrier.
So I will say that even though you can see barely the other side of the barrier, you find you are unable to manifest the echo. It doesn't use your use of this in any way, but it's almost like magic inside of the bubble is non-existent.
Well, that's really inconvenient.
So would you
Indeed.
say that? So it didn't. I could still use the bonus action. Is that what you're
You
saying?
Yes,
Okay.
it doesn't. It's imagine like trying to pull the trigger and the safety being on.
Okay. Well, then
about
I
bullets?
will Right. I will manifest him then right here.
Okay.
Since I moved for. Yep. All right. That's it.
Randy, what you got? Demos, you're after an enemy.
I think for the sake of seeing the swarm, and I think from my past experience, knowing that physical attacks do less damage, and also seeing that occur here as well, instead, I think I'm going to use 2 charges on the shadow globe to cast darkness around me.
How big is that?
15 foot.
It's a darkness spell. 15 feet radius, so 30 feet total.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it gray.
Oh. Oh my.
And then
I'm gonna make you a little bigger, Demos. So you hitting that bottle of Centauri.
And then just to double down on it. So I was gonna go right here just to double down on it. I'm gonna bonus action try to hide behind this rock inside the darkness because I don't have much else I could do with a bonus action right now. Like I could try to take a swing on that thing, but I don't feel like there's any point.
Okay. Many of you, your sight is erased. It's just blackness. You all probably would have heard Randy speak the command word for the drift globe, so you're all aware of what has happened. But at the moment, all of you inside of that little gray thing cannot see shit.
And while this happens, I'm going to shout out because I know that Echo's outside of it, and I'm going to sort of mentally yell, Echo, if you see anything big come out of there, you better let us know. I'm about to do something crazy. And then I cast the darkness.
I don't know if I can reply, but aye. Gotcha.
I heard. This guy here, oh no, go back to where you were. Q. 24, 20, he can't see shit.
Q, that he's not in this campaign. I'm sorry. Try again.
He is in
I
this
stealth.
campaign. You also haven't went to talk to him yet.
And I can't see into that sphere, correct?
You cannot.
Right.
We can go
So
away.
I wouldn't be able to say on your left, just
You can have the rest of
The
the
big-
vanilla or
the big one's
the
coming.
brown color.
No, but I would think my hope is that as I yelled it out, like if something comes out of the dome and approaches the sphere, you would just sort of shout and let us know like something's coming your way.
bogey on the left. Starboard, port,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, which one.
How would these? I need to check one thing about my stat block
Starboard's
really
right,
quick.
port is left.
Starboard right,
Oh.
port's left, yeah.
Bless. Okay. Bless.
Y'all say that like it's some sort of like easy mnemonic device to remember, like righty tighty, like Starboard's right.
Port has four letters,
Learn
and so does
nautical
left.
terms,
So
dude.
port
Damn.
is
Okay,
left.
all right.
Starboard is
Boom.
right.
Got it. Never forget
Well,
it again.
See,
Archivist was
useless
a pilot
knowledge
last
that-
campaign, so
Why do you know that?
I had
Anyway, an unknown creature
I learned
in
that
initiative
shit.
count 13 has blind sight. So he, rushing another swarm of snakes, rushes into the darkness and eventually gets close enough to find Goob with its blind sight. And it will swarm Goob.
I assume.
I don't know why. I don't know
here-
why. I don't know why it needs to roll the dice on the screen. It just takes up too much time. Another 19 to hit. I'm assuming that hits Goob. He
Does
takes 10 piercing damage. I need a con save, please. I know I can turn it off. I just gotta find it.
Ooh.
10
I
piercing damage.
assume
I failed
that
the
we
con
hear
save.
Goob
Oh.
scream.
You
something.
definitely do hear Goob scream. That's a lot of
I
piercing.
thought we
That's a
would
lot of
hear
poison
something like
damage.
this.
Let me... Good job. 10 out of 10. Let me make sure that poison damage is
That's
about
awesome.
right. Okay, it is. Okay. Goob takes 19 poison damage.
Oh god, that killed me.
Wait a second. He has resistance to the poison effect, not poison damage, or is it poison damage?
The effect of being poisoned.
I think he's effect and not damage, if I'm being real.
How
But
much?
his character sheet should say for sure.
How much damage is it? It just says defensive, resistance, acid, poison. That's all it says.
It was.
Oh, in that case, it is the
29,
type, because acid is a type and not a condition.
But it's acid, it's not poison.
Well, he said acid and poison.
He has
Or
resistance. to
his
acid
resistance
and
is
poison.
listed. That is the damage type, but not the condition.
Yeah,
if
it
I'm
specifically says you have resistance
believe
to
I'm
acid and
correct.
poison damage. I found it in his features and traits.
And he is resistant, so he only takes.
So, 14.
Well, we're gonna round down. So he takes
13.
10 piercing damage.
Uh-huh.
Takes 10 piercing damage. He can't reduce that I'm aware of. It was 19 poison damage. You round that down to 18. You split that in half to 9.
Okay, I heard 29. Oh, he said 29 total. Got it. Okay, so 9 poison damage. Cool.
D&D's done. I love you, D&D. You
Anyway,
ruined my life.
it's done.
yeah, I assume that at this point, Goob like yells out, "It's like somehow it found me."
This fucking sucks. So
He can't
Well,
see
and-
either. So he's probably
Technically, if Goob uses a farting language, Randy androids can communicate him with the farting language mentally.
it's true. Demos, you're up.
That tracks. All right, so
Who's
Deimos,
after an
now
enemy?
being obscured in complete darkness and terrified for his fucking life. First of all, he's going to go ahead and he knows Randy said something before the darkness popped up. I assume that the darkness didn't just poof, that it radiated out from Randy, so I know which direction it's going. I'm going to head this way, and because Magic Missile never misses, I'm going to aim Magic Missile using the Wand of Magic Missiles at the swarm that was attacking Drix. And you know what? I'm going to go for a 7th level. So that's 9 total D4.
Make sure you don't have to
I
go
don't have it's Magic Missile, so it never misses. So let me look at it.
But make sure that's not. I've got to pull up. Hold on. The magic miss. The spell doesn't.
It says 120 feet. It does say dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range.
Oh man.
So you can't see.
In
it.
that
the spell
case,
scroll have
knowing
like a max 2 or 3 slot.
knowing that, Deimos would head toward the enemy that he saw before, because he saw it before the darkness took effect. Assume that I could stumble upon it. Correct?
Can't see it. It is dark. You do not
Well,
have
no,
any
I
way to see
I
it.
saw it swarm Drix. I saw Drix move out of it, and then the darkness came on. So I know because Randy.
You have an,
Yeah,
you have an
warning, I
idea
know-
where it is, but you cannot see it. That is the ruling of spells.
But
You have
it's-
to have eyesight on it. You can't
In
put
that
magic
case, I
where you
tell Randy his spell hurt the effect of this. But I will gladly rhyme, and from my position, I will rhymes binding ice from disadvantage. Well, actually, it has to make a save.
Yeah,
But regardless.
Okay. I will say that you are able to steer this where you don't hit Drix, if that is your intention.
That's fair, and because you
Oh,
knew
it is
the
actually-
approximate location, you cast it in front of you,
And-
towards it.
And it is actually a range. Therefore, I would head south to line up a trajectory that would hit these two. However, none of the other two with a 30-foot cone.
You technically
Because
can't see whatever's back there.
No, but I knew where it was before the darkness hit. I know roughly where it is. So
You
I'm going
also
to head
know
that
that
direction.
the magic so far hasn't been able to penetrate that barrier.
Correct, but this is a test. If nothing else, it hits the one in front of me. At best, it hits both. I'm going to cast Rhymes Binding Ice at 2nd level.
Okay. It does pass your DC save.
Pretty early because
It does pass my DC save?
It do.
I think I can force it to... Oh no, Lucky does not let me do DC saves. What did it roll?
You
Can I
use-
ask that? Is that too meta?
It rolled pretty well.
Because I could replace it, but I don't think it would help me that much if
you
it has
can't
a...
use important here.
2012.
Yeah, well, technically I can because it's a creature
But-
making a D20 save within.
The
But-
most you could do is a 13, and that would meet. So
Yeah. Boo.
You do from the sounds manage to blast one of these swarms of undead snakes. You do hear a very odd kind of tinkling sound. I'll say that's the sound you guys have heard when magic breaks off of the barrier. This one does take half damage. Is that right?
I will confirm.
It's just not stuck.
On a successful save, creatures take half as much damage. Correct. So it does take, instead of the 11, it takes 6 damage.
Very well.
And it cannot. Oh well, no, it can move. Never mind.
And is that all you got, Demos?
Correct.
Echo, since you're the only one that can fucking see, you watch a rather large serpent made.
Here comes the bigot.
A skeleton serpent, no skin whatsoever, as a bone naga slides out 5, 10, slides over here. Bloop. Let me make sure it does have
Deimos.
blind sight. It does. Perfect.
The giant's dick is right next to you, Deimos.
Deimos shits regardless of being aware.
He just feels it show up. You feel the sand. This is a large creature, not a gargantuan.
A shadow, a giant snake shadow through the darkness.
As this bone
Gross.
naga. Let me actually make sure it doesn't want to do a specific thing instead.
First of all, Bone Naga, great
Now-
name for a metal band.
Pretty good. Yeah.
also,
They
can I
are
just say for the record,
pretty cool.
the non-magic guy tried to use a magic, and everything that he's trying to fight can see through the magic. That's terrible.
This does kind of suck because they all have blind sight, but it's gonna roll up right there in between all of you, and it can see Demos too. So shit's about to be real interesting. It's going to cast.
Demos is down. I'm just going to say that now.
Please no.
Say that again. You said Demos is down.
Mostly a joke, but
I need Echo and Demos to make wisdom saves, please.
Echoes
oh, boy,
echo.
Echo.
He can. All right, wisdom. Okay. This is horseshit.
oh, I'm gonna make that a six. No, I'm gonna use a
Fucking
lucky. I'm gonna use a lucky to re-roll that.
Used the lucky earlier.
Okay.
Do you get to do those every day?
3 of those per long rest. Correct.
Mhm.
because Pandora made me realize how fucking broken that feat is. But there's
Yes, it is. It's so
Okay.
broken.
Demos, you managed to survive. And make double sure. Echo, find this DC bullshit. Okay. Echo, you are paralyzed. Let me make double sure. Wisdom save, be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of your turn, you get to make another wisdom saving throw.
I have never been more happy to use a lucky. Okay.
That does take its action, so it doesn't get to chomp anybody. But shit looks real bad, Echo, as this thing rolls up out of the barrier and immediately your body seizes. Echo, you're the only one that can see this. This bone naga is fucking word left me. Unique. You can see on the bones, carved on almost every inch of the bones of this massive serpent, runes and glyphs. All of you, even if some of you don't realize in the midst of battle, can hear this eerie, soft song emanating from somewhere in a language none of you would really recognize. Zephyr, you're up. What do you got? Joey, do you have a question?
Other than crying, let's see. Don't really know what I'm doing here. I guess we haven't had a whole lot of luck with magic or really anything.
You also can't see shit.
Can I not?
Nah, it's magical darkness. You're blind as a bat right now.
Does my dark vision count for nothing?
Not for darkness.
For the record,
Not for magical.
Only if you had
darkness.
blind sight.
I went into
Oh,
Z
okay.
mode and I could see through magical darkness, and I was like, "This is gonna be a great idea," and it was not.
Shit.
for effort.
Can you dissipate it? As an
I don't
action
think I
or
have
bonus
anything
action?
that
I
can.
don't care if I can or I can't. I'm going to my next turn, just so you guys know.
Throw the
Right.
globe. Get away from me!
Love it.
Stop floating next to me! No one loves you. You're adopted.
Wow.
Well,
What you got, Zephyr? Goobs on deck.
I mean, I guess. Let's see. Can I step out of this dark orb here?
You can.
Okay,
like-
so if I
A couple of steps backwards in fear or consternation.
yeah, a lot of fear. I'm not about the snakes. Okay, so this is about maybe if I move over here, that way I can see this big monster and cry. I guess.
It's a little hard to see. There is this massive globe of darkness blocking much of your vision, but you can see Echo having very recently been paralyzed and being kind of stared down by this massive skeletal snake, a large skeletal snake.
Let's see.
Hey,
I was
Joey,
just trying to
this is
see
where
what else I can
the
do. I guess I'm
impression of
just
a
gonna.
hot dog takes place.
I guess I'm just gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast at it initially here
Okay.
for a 12 because I'm great.
For a 12, it's not hit.
It's because I'm crying
can't
and I
even
can't see through the tears.
Heard.
I can't even see it to do a fucking portent. Rip.
Zephyr does not like bone snakes, I reckon.
Very well. Is there anything else you can do?
No, that's about it.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Goob, what you got?
Goob's gonna panic run towards where he last saw Randy, hopefully bump right into him, and then he is going to use Twilight Sanctuary to try to give everybody some healthy health, because he knows that something's going bad, but he's not sure what because he can't see anything.
Mhm.
Since I can't roll off his sheet, I'm just
Bless.
gonna roll it here. That is a 6 plus 4, so that's 10 temporary hit points for everybody who ends their turn within the range.
It's 30 feet, right?
30-foot radius. You are correct, sir. So let me go ahead and add that.
I got you. I put it on his token.
Josh, I can only get so erect. I need you to stop talking. Okay, sorry,
It
continue.
looks like Echo's the only one that doesn't get
I
it.
tried so hard to get it over to you too, Echo. I'm sorry.
Sucks.
But I was like, in blindness, all he can do is run straight at Randy and hope that he doesn't die.
I can move eventually,
So-
hopefully.
You're paralyzed. Yeah, I'm say you can't get
As
over
long
that.
as you end your turn there. Oh, that's right.
So
Do I know Dispel?
I think that's all he's gonna do. I don't think he has any real bonus action. No, that's it. That's all he's gonna do.
We go back to the top of the round, and it is 12:30. So I have to let you all go.